And we are live.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for coming on. So excited to have you.
And I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you were just telling me about how you got into macronutrients and being gay as a bit.
So exposed. No, I said I got really into I started drinking Huel, but that like being gay, and it's the Bugs Bunny comic from Sonic Tails Gets Trolled. Is that all bits including being gay, and like you all just, these are all just bits that you're like, oh, this isn't ironic anymore. This is just my life.
This is just what I do now.
It's just what I do for a living.
Yeah, I understand. I say pog unironically now. It's okay. Sometimes the stuff just happens to you, like, and you can't.
Yep.
You have no control over it.
You get into a space where it's like, I don't know. You're just like, whatever. I fucking make a significant amount of money on YouTube. I just like come to terms with my shit.
Yeah, I work at Twitch now, I guess. Like, I can't. Yeah. There's no after a certain point, you can no longer feign that you're above it. You have to admit, like, okay, I've just submerged myself into the belly of the internet, and I whatever, fuck it.
I have to think about SEO now. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was thinking today about how I love particularly the wing of Twitter that we are both a part of, where people have like a generally left-wing bent, where everybody like cares a lot about and knows a lot about social media brand management, but is desperately trying to pretend to everyone else that they don't.
Yep.
And gets mad at each other if anyone like admits that that's a thing that you have to care about. Like, everyone makes fun of them.
If you plug anything, it feels fail.
It feels incredibly. It's so super cringe.
It's fucking cringe too. Yeah, it's really hard to be able to continue to do the bit, but also like like, dude, I like, if you're one of the pure pre-getting a good podcast posters in that sphere,
yeah,
it sort of feels like we all acknowledge that, but the second you just like, there's that middle ground of like, I'm obscenely successful and thus will never acknowledge this because people will come here anyway.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't have a podcast yet. And then in the middle, you kind of have to figure out a way to do it in ways that wouldn't piss you off.
Oh yeah, because most people are not going to be where they don't have to promo anything and people are going to show up anyway. You know? Right. But everyone needs to be that guy, you know?
Well, because that's all culture like is now, is just like hustle culture, and so like, even outside of the irony element of it and the recognition that this is like what, you know, people have to do to be successful. You have to be a visible person. You have to like do like horrible Glenn Greenwald shit all the time so that people like get mad at you, and so that you can use that to have like, I don't know, a vocal fry podcast. Like, you know,
oh,
like,
man, I can't wait till I hit the stage where I can have my vocal fry podcast.
Yeah, it's a limited market. I forgot where we are. Is this Anne Orlando?
This is Anne Orlando.
I love Anne Orlando.
This is shortly after. This is like right after you get up the terrible scaffolding where the guys shoot arrows at you.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, well, we're just past that. We're inside, and I am I'm a Dex guy, but I'm like a big Scythe Dex guy, which is new to me. I have to say, this is my first time, and I am liking it.
Big Dex is good. I as a guy who had to review Dark Souls 2, and thus am like the weird guy who's like pro Dark Souls 2.
Oh, I was waiting to hear if you were, because we have a couple pro Dark Souls 2 loyalists in the stream as well, like in the community.
I think it does, like, I think the most charitable thing you can say about it objectively is that while 1 is a perfect narrative, 2 is doing the most interesting thing you can do from that place. In terms of like,
2 was really good narratively too.
Yeah, that's 2's strongest with its narrative, and it's strongest with its multiplayer shit. Because like, it's got really good dueling, and dual wielding's fucking fun.
I'm so glad that's back in Elden Ring, power stancing.
Oh, power stancing was so tight. I used to use dual great clubs and that's the funniest shit you can do, because he's just carrying two of them, and then when you like double
you double bonk them.
Holy shit, does that feel good? It's just like the guys. It's Captain Caveman shit. It's like literally goes through like it's like they're going through the fucking floor. It's like so tight.
You pound them into the ground like a steak. Yeah. I did my first Dark Souls 2 run recently where I had played it before, but I didn't finish it, as so many have. But I was like, everyone says the DLCs are the best part of it, and I think they're right. The DLCs are really strong for PS2.
Yeah.
But I finally did a full playthrough of it as a hexer that power stands to rapier and a longsword. I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. I was like, how do I do all the mechanics? I was like, okay, so I do hexes with my left hand and pyromancies with my right hand, and then I have the weapons in either hand, and I switch between them to do my spells.
That's so cool.
It was a blast.
That's really cool.
It was a fucking blast.
I really love, yeah, I like, people got very mad that, like, it's not a one whole world. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, they're using a series of illusions and tricks instead of the Dark Souls thing where you can, like, pull out the skeleton and it looks like the map from Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
And I think that was, like, that's probably the harshest thing I would say about it, and that and the swamp.
Yeah, the swamp in DS2?
The swamp sucks ass. Yes, it sucks ass. Well, it sucks ass if you're playing it for review.
Which swamp?
The Swamp Tower. The Poison Swamp.
Oh, God. Earthen Peak? Harvest Valley into Earthen Peak? Awful.
Imagine you can't talk to anybody about the game and there's no guides. And then they trying to figure out how the fuck that works is
to burn the fucking tower, a thing that never happens at any point elsewhere in the game ever,
or really in any way. Yeah, it's like literally requires the servers to be on and for there to be messages and shit.
Yeah.
And so I literally had to like I DM'd someone who like I knew was reviewing it also and was like, yo, do you know anything about that? And then he just got me on a thread that was like literally a bunch of journalists being like, okay, for real, like this is where we're at. Nobody talking about it quantitatively in any way, but everyone being like, if you're stuck, we're here, but we won't talk about like from an ethical standpoint, whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to play that game with no notes on the ground. It's so obtuse.
Well, all of these games are, and like if you like, that's the thing is like nobody.
There we go.
They're meant for a specific ecosystem.
Yeah.
Love Chaos Fire.
Me too.
Quelaag is the best.
Oh, Quelaag the spider lady?
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is. Queen.
I know it's like using souls for specialty weapons like is like obviously like what you do when you don't know how to play the game. But I did use Quelaag's sword, Chaos Sword, and I really like it. Just it has a cool move.
Oh, the Chaos Sword is good. It's just you have to deal with it draining your health.
Which is cool.
Yeah, which to me is awesome.
Quelaag transition goal, someone says in chat.
That's what people mean when they talk about bottom surgery.
They want to be a spider. It's true.
They gotta change. Yeah, you change the bottom half.
That used to be such a like. That was like a very early, like late Bush, early Obama era, like. Well, what are you gonna be next? A fucking spider?
Okay,
you know, yeah.
South Park circa when I was in middle school.
And now it's like kinda.
Yeah,
now it's like, yeah, that sounds tight.
Well, I saw a post similar to that about how the internet has gotten entertainment out of calling Shinji from Evangelion gay for like about 30 years now, and it's just changed whether or not people consider it a good thing.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
it's like what that's the thing is like there's the recognition that calling stuff gay is like we're all getting a little too close to that. Including people who aren't gay. But then again, it's just like sometimes stuff is gay, and you have to just be like, you know, that's what it is. And now there's less implicit venom to it when you're just like, God, Shinji's gay.
Yeah, I mean, Shinji.
That boy or girl, that they them is got some other shit going on.
Yeah, certainly has something going on.
I did like when Ava 3.1 Plus 1.1, whatever the fourth one is. I fucking forget math.
Mhm.
Came out. There was that documentary where they just like followed Anno around,
Mhm.
and I think it was Ray's VA was like, yeah, you know, I just like he just acts like such a girl. Like he has a woman's mind, and it's just interspersed with like footage of him eating like frozen yogurt or something like that. And it's just such a funny
Classic
fucking...
female activity.
Females do be doing that. It's
They
just
do.
like it's just like I thought that was so funny. I was like, no, not we moved on past Shinji is trans to Anno is trans. Anno is Shinji, thus through the transitive property Shinji is trans, and thus Anno is trans.
It cuts to a bunch of footage of Anno, like, you know, playing Fallout New Vegas and like starting a harsh noise project.
He's not gay or trans. He's whatever sexuality you call being Hideo Kojima too.
Gay?
And Araki. No, it's a different thing.
It's a more advanced kind of gay.
It's a more advanced. It's like it's somehow gayer than it's being bi, but somehow being gayer than that. I don't know how that works. I think it's just you have like a lot of conspicuous friends, or just like confusing friendships with men.
I have an invader, so I'm just gonna dash for the next shortcut. Yeah, no, I agree. That's Kojima's whole thing is like, you know, how hard can these two men wrestle? So like, I feel like he really blazed a certain trail.
Even beyond that, like it's just his conspicuous, what I call his conspicuous male friendships. Adult male. Oh. Uh-oh.
That's okay. It's an invader. It's an Anarlando invader. They're all the worst.
Yeah, get fucking taste.
Yeah, truly. Drew Cromwell, thank you for the follow.
Shinji getting the gender coffin, I do like. That really is what an Ava is. It's just the gender coffin. If you get in the gender coffin or the plug suit, there's like a 1 in 10,000 chance you just wake up in the other thing.
That's not that low of a number. 10,000.
It's like Final Fantasy VII rumor from GameFAQs kind of odds. It's like, oh, if you get what was the one? It was like 1/10,000 soldiers, you can bring Aerith back.
There's that. People claimed a lot of ways to bring Aerith back, and there was also like some that turned out to be real, like the nail bat was actually in the game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to. That was the Wild West, though. That was the old days when you could simply say anything about a video game, and there was nobody to dump the game to figure it out.
Yeah.
So we'd all have to just be like, "Wow, I guess."
It happened to me one time.
I blew that. My friend's uncle who works at Nintendo says that they were supposed to put this out on the N64, and Aerith wasn't supposed to die, and it's going to come out next year.
My favorite one of those is I went to like a day camp. It was of course it wasn't like a normal. I never went to a normal day camp. I went to like a series of like hyper specific interest ones that were each worse than the last.
Macronutrients.
Like that's I think I fucking turned out the way I did. I went to computer camp, and I kicked ass at CS and Unreal. But I met a girl at like a day camp for like performing arts stuff, and who claimed that her dad was producing the Warcraft adventure game, and that quote they had used some of her sketches in the game. And at first I was like, that's bullshit. And now with like looking at how that game looks, I'm like, maybe they did get a 12-year-old girl's drawings in this game, because it doesn't look good.
There's a Warcraft adventure game?
There was. It was a canned one. It was like vaporware, and somebody eventually found the ROM and shit, and it's like half
finished, like Resident Evil 1.5 and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations. It looks awful. It's not a good looking game. It looks like King's Quest 7.
Ooh.
It looks
so
it has
like that kind of adventure game. Wow.
It looks like what I guess the charitable way to put it is like above CDI but below like late Sierra.
Ooh, that is bad, considering when late Sierra was like, what, 30 years ago? When did Sierra
Well, like,
wrap their doors up?
I don't mean like the company. I mean like its era. You know.
Oh
So I guess like
yeah, it's
later King's
artistic
Quest
vision.
weren't. Yeah, like the before 3D King's Quest era.
Mm-hmm. All I really know about King's Quest is that quote from the designer that was like, "We can't make the puzzles easier because then poor people could figure them out."
Oh god, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was.
You could just say shit back in the day.
You could just fucking say whatever you wanted back in the day. It was sick.
Oh yeah, here it is. War of the Clans. You know, it's oh god, that does not look good. That is a bad image. I kind of love it though. This should be somebody's avatar.
We need to bring those back. They should just finish it now.
Let me see if it's possible to
I'm clicking this on my end because I wish to view upon it.
Oops, sorry. I'm trying to do something with it.
Oh my god! It's like a fucking Saturday morning cartoon. Like, not a good one. Holy shit. No. Wow, that looks really, really bad.
Yeah, so now I'm like, yeah, maybe a 12-year-old was involved with the creation of this.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever in the chat just called it the Control Delete Warcraft adventure game. That is about what it looks like. Good god. It really has big webcomic from the early age of the internet energy.
Somebody, what do you call it? I've been putting off reading Achewood in like a whole thing for a while.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just want somebody to make a fucking PDF. That's the whole thing with the rollover text, importantly. Because like all the GIFs were on like archive.org.
Yeah.
But like the thing about Achewood is that when you roll over the image, there's another joke inside of it.
Yeah.
And that's like usually him talking about shit for a minute. Or for like a second. And so like it's required for like half the jokes.
Yeah, it's like how you can't watch a strong bad email properly on YouTube because you can't click all the shit, and that's like a huge part of the appeal of them was like searching for those. So
I was just like actually getting to the point where I was using like batching AI upscales on the GIFs and like pulling the metadata from the website and shit like that, and then somebody who follows me, who of fucking course is a furry, was like, oh, do you need like something like this? And they had already done that and had that exact same process like 3 years ago. It's like, oh, yeah, here's all of Achewood with all of the rollover text in one PDF. And I was like, oh, this thing I've wanted for fucking several, and it rocks. And so they posted it online, and I have it. They just like have a drive link on the tweet, so if anyone wants to download it, it's there.
Furries are kind of just the backbone of making the internet work properly.
Dude, they're furries are like the most society of society. Like the only person I sort of trust about like COVID shit is like that one furry who works at Moderna. It's just like the only every time there's like the news story where it's like Deltarune variant that's like the new, you know, Omicron and Delta combination is real, and it's just like I'll just go there like, no, that's just people having two versions of at the same time.
Which that sucks, but I'm glad that
yeah, it sucks for you, but that's not a real thing.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not real for me. It sucks that did this for you though.
Somebody I follow, or somebody I know vaguely, I don't follow them, but they claim to have been vaccinated 7 times.
Wait, what?
They got the booster.
Like, just like what? Like top me off, like on purpose?
Yeah, it was like the person's Swifty online, and every once in a while you just see them post like Swifty is on vax number 7. They just keep and apparently like if you don't, they basically had a full flight of all of them.
Yeah.
and the idea being like, you know, like if you go across state lines they don't check.
Yeah.
And so it's like, ooh, I forgot about those guys.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which of these rooms has the Havel's armor in it. Maybe it's downstairs.
Leading up to it, leading up to the current situation we're in, I was like, oh, that's either a weird bit or lie or an obscene bit. And now I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Fucking film me. Like, that would, it's like 3 months ago was like a dumber idea.
No, yeah, now it's like, okay, whatever. Like, I mean, if you told me back when I was getting the Johnson & Johnson, that I was gonna go in for a booster and they were gonna give me a completely different vaccine and I was gonna be like, sure, I would have been like, that doesn't sound like how medical science works. And now I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, give me the Moderna too, why not?
My favorite, thing that's been happening recently is just the market is now flooded with people taking like subsidies from the government to do COVID testing.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, there's just been an increased drop off in the basic quality of a lot of these places.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like a series of buses and tents so that people can do like, I don't know, like tax fraud or something.
Yeah, which like, you know, usually I would respect, but not when it gets in the way of our healthcare.
And so like, oh yeah, a lot of them are just scams. Some of them are just like getting your social security number.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, or just like not like there was one that was like English only, and it's like that's illegal. That's super illegal.
User in the chat who managed to secure the name Elden Ring. Very good. You were really on top of that one.
Oh yeah. Damn,
no spaces, awesome. No weird spellings, just straight up just Elden Ring.
Just straight up the word.
God, having that name on Twitch is like the guy who has Master Chief on Xbox Live.
Yeah. No, he will not sell it to you. I have a pair of earbuds from Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I just check in to see how much that asset is worth.
Oh, like in game? Or...
Well, because it was a thing they made once that you could only. It was a accessory that you had to have played Team Fortress on a Mac.
Oh.
Like for like the first month or two to get them.
Yeah. And so God, I bet like a dozen people have it.
Yeah. Someone asked what highlight reel is. I don't mind plugging it right now.
Yeah, please do plug it.
It is my show. I've been doing since when I worked at Kotaku, and then I guess it's now been like 7 years. And now I have my own show, my own channel, and it's Patreon supported because I'm part of the podcast left or whatever, that Patreon left, whatever the fuck that is. No longer media. I'm now a cretin, like a content cretin. And yeah, it's basically just a clip show. It's like best recent clips from around the gaming world. It's one a week. I try to find good glitches, good things. People send me stuff, and it's pretty entertaining.
So does this create sort of a perverse thing where when a game comes out and it's like buggy as hell, is that like exciting for you? Like when the GTA remasters came out, where you're like, oh wow, this is great. I barely have to work for the next 4 weeks.
I worked a lot. I bought that game. Yeah, no. Because I had to be like, okay, like, the reality is that like, the GTA and like I think who is it? The guys who do like they test games for like frame rate and shit. What's his name? The YouTube channel.
I know anyway, you're blanking on it.
Yeah. I usually know this. But anyway, they did a whole thing like analyzing the engine, and the fact of the matter is they like.
People are saying Digital Foundry.
Yeah, it's Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry did it. They basically just took the whole fucking engine and just dropped it in Unreal somehow, and so like a lot of the glitches that people were seeing were like from the game.
Really?
Like from like the game that came out, and so people were like, check this shit out, and it was like, no, that was in the game, dude. So it was like a lot of like work being like, is this a new thing that happens because they did a bad job, or is this a thing that happened because they never fixed it?
Yeah, I do like the place where they upscaled the text and it just like none of the text makes any fucking sense now in the remake. Yeah, that was a nice touch. But like, what would you say was the ratio? Like when you got to the end of your mission, how many of these glitches on average were original versus new?
It was like 50-50, but the original games are really buggy.
50-50 is still a lot of new bugs, too, for how buggy GTA was before.
Also, people forgot about it really quickly. Like, people were like, thought that it was going to be like a Cyberpunk level situation, and like, no, Cyberpunk's like different. Because like, at the end of the day, you could still like emulate GTA or San Andreas.
There exist
Like,
good versions of it.
Yeah. There's real versions of them there. But you can't do that with like, like, can't do that with like Cyberpunk. Like that's just like, that's a completely different order of magnitude. And also like, I don't know, I feel like the fucking studio like got kind of shafted because it's like they had to do like 3 ports at the same time for 3 of the most beloved games.
That are
like
open world games, which are,
in COVID.
Yeah.
And I feel like they got rooked. I think they got fucked up. Like that just feels like there's a story there. We'll find out like 5 months from now about like.
Oh, I would love to hear some behind the scenes info on what went down with that game, because I'm sure I'm sure the devs aren't stupid. I'm sure that they did not want to release a game that had that many glitches. I wonder what led it to properly happen.
Rock Tumbler says, I played all 3 of them on the Switch and monitors, and it's really rough. Yeah, the Switch version's comically rough. There were glitches I saw in, like, I spent like 3 hours trying to confirm this glitch where it was like the cliff area of one of the mansions in Vice City, like, was just textured with a person's face. And so I like sped run to that point of the game to just like, can I do it? It's just a disgusting thing. And it turns out it's only on the Switch version. Like I had to like DM the person. So like, I do take this stuff incredibly seriously because like, I don't want to like do that to a developer. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
I don't want to like something that like is clearly not their fault shouldn't be like cold something that is,
Yeah. And realistically, I feel like most of the times that games come out and they're jank, it's usually on the financial side of the business, not letting them finish it more often than it is the devs' incompetence.
Yeah, and the devs are like literally killing themselves for our entertainment,
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
Like,
totally.
they're like actually like trying to get, like it's like if everything was they'd take their time, things were cool, like it would just be a better situation. But like, I don't know. I'm glad E3 is dead.
Is E3 like dead?
I think so. It's like it's never coming back in the same capacity that it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're not. They were like, even before COVID, they were like, oh, we're not doing this anymore in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you guys weren't doing this period anyway.
That's okay though, because I feel like E3 was not a great force for video games.
No, it was bad.
Yes.
It was a thing that was like a vertical slice that like everybody consecutively realized. Once all the major companies were like, what if we just like had an event exactly 3 miles at a different a different place than the Staples Center?
Yeah.
And they all realized they didn't have to actually pay any of them money, because they were just doing streams, like Nintendo, and then like I forget who did it after. But yeah, everyone just like,
I was like,
and then
slowly. I'm having trouble trying to say who it was because slowly, but you're right. Slowly but surely, it was like everybody had their own events.
Yeah.
E3.
Oh, also, someone asks if people are lying. Think I'm lying when I say my name is Person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody lies. They just think it's a weird thing.
I wasn't sure if it was like a pseudonym or what.
No, it's my name. Oh, I love this guy.
Me too. I like that he forges a very, very small sword. Like, of all the swords in the game, he's forging a Baldur's Side sword.
I mean, he has
love it.
to. That's probably like.
Yeah, the Baldur's Side sword's probably like the industry standard in this world, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can't help he's big.
Yeah. And you gotta make what people want, so I guess it's kind of like, he's making the Blue Yeti microphone of blacksmithing, so...
Yeah, basically.
You can't really say much to him about that.
He's got some Shure SM7Bs lined up.
Yeah, SM57s...
SM57 and SM58. Okay, I have a hierarchy of like podcasting and streamer mics.
Yeah.
That like of the if you have an interface thing, which is that SM7Bs are for if you give up. because they have like a heavy bass response, and so everyone's just like, well, I'll just use the one that everybody uses.
Yeah.
Which one is it? RE 2020s are for fascists. Wait, is that what it is?
Go on. No, go on.
No, the 2020. What is it? I'm messing the mic name up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The RE20. The RE20 are for fascists because Rush Limbaugh used one forever, and now that's what like Ben Shapiro and shit use.
Oh, so it is like genuinely the industry standard. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But they do it for aesthetic reasons, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, I want the one that Rush uses, and it's like the Electro Voice RE20 is a really good mic. It's just like that's what it uses. If you have an SM58 or an SM57, you are like you have a mattress on the floor.
Yeah. I was gonna say you used to be in a punk rock band.
That is the podcast mic in the sense that it's for people who have a Zoom recorder and need 4 microphones for $400.
Hey, no other mic you can back over with your car and it still works.
It's true. I had my mic is for 68-year-old radio guys who like wear Hawaiian shirts.
Oh hell yeah! What do you use? Ooh, pretty.
It's the Hale PR40. I'm gonna put this back on. It's weird because it's like it's got a really weird bump in the treble.
Okay.
So you really have to know how to EQ it. So like radio guys who actually do like pretty complicated like signal chain shit and like know how to use it. But like everybody, like all these YouTube guys are like, oh, I didn't like it. Oh, more. And it's just like, yeah, because you're like a YouTube guy. You're not like a guy who's in like a fucking studio.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
It's also, I like it because it has, like the guy who designed it, Bob Hale, I know way too much about this shit, but like he's like an old guy with like very, like he hates condenser mics. It's just like very weird opinions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He did the sound for the Grateful Dead for a really long time and invented the talk box. And there's just like,
wow.
Yeah. So like, interesting guy, very interesting acoustics. There's interviews with him online, and he's like, just a charming old guy who clearly did acid a bunch.
Aww.
And is now a business owner, and like he has opinions. And the thing about this mic that he really likes is that it has fantastic off-axis rejection. So it only picks up like this, and it doesn't color. If you're talking to the side, it doesn't color it too much.
It just you get the same sort of sound coming through the side, or doesn't pick up through the side.
It's good even if you're off-axis a little bit. It's still the same like basic. It's a really nice mic, but it's also like the reason I got it is because like it's the mic that like
Rush Limbaugh used.
No, nobody uses it. It's weird. It's like it's the mic that like we did like when we got a podcast kit at at work. They were like, oh, we're throwing these in, and it was like. It was a video place, not a radio place, and so they just gave us a bunch of weird choices.
Okay. And was this one? And this was one of them?
This is one of them, yeah. This is one of them, and like, I like ended up really liking the mic because I like the. I don't know. There's just something about the SM7B that just it feels like giving up. It feels like you're like, everybody should have a bass response on everything.
Just before you went on, you were trying out like 6 different bass responses. So old habits still die hard.
It's true. I got a oh man. I got a problem. I got a problem with researching stuff.
Which is too much or not enough?
Too much. Yeah. It's just it's then I just end up being able to say what I just said to people.
I end up in this terrible situation.
I started like fucking around with like PCB software recently because I was like, what if I made a keyboard, or what if I can doodle stuff on my keyboard and then have the PCB sent to me from China, and then like it turns out they'll let you do that. There's like no law against it.
Ooh.
So now I have like, I don't know if you can see this, but that's Theodore saying "plus I got depression" on the shirt.
Hell yeah.
And there's the sickos guy.
Oh, you posted this.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's a wireless keyboard. It's called an untitled keyboard. I also just finished soldering. This solder looks like shit for a very complicated reason. This like fight stick that I got. That
yes,
has,
this is the one that I saw.
Pee Moo, and then you know the Your Motherfucking Life Ends 30 Minutes From Now comic. The aforementioned Bugs.
I used to get trolled, but I found a way to stop it.
Yeah, I used to be. It says, hold on, I'll read this. I used to be trolled, but I found a way to stop it. I do all kinds of stupid and gay shit. They can't troll you if you dress up like a girl and kiss them. I don't like doing it, but it works.
I love that.
Like, that is a queer text. Is like
I post it every year on Trans Day of Visibility.
It's true. It's correct. Bugs is correct there. But yeah, there's nothing against the law for you could like that's the thing is you could probably like draw like it'd take a lot of work, but you could draw like really gay porno on it, and like just as long as you just have the file and then you just send it to them, and then a factory in China will literally produce it for you in bulk. It's cool. Yeah, there's no law against it.
That's very cool. You should check the chat. Your face is in it.
I see it. Yeah. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. I don't. Okay, so somebody asked if I'm selling still selling the PCBs. No, because it's not mine to sell. It's part of a the open. I'm in like several discords about this. The Open Fight Stick Discord, which is like using the Raspberry 2040, which is a really cheap microcontroller, to make a fight stick, and that like reduces the cost a lot, but like it's not mine to sell. The guys sell it. Hold on, it's called the Crush Counter.
So someone's selling it. You're just not selling it.
I'm not like I literally bought like 15 of them because it would be like what if I could do this, and like it turns out it's cheaper to do that in bulk. But if you want to buy the equivalent, I just dropped it in the chat. They're really cool. They're like $100 or something like that, which isn't bad for that. I don't know. I just gotten really good at soldering now, and so now I'm at the point where I'm like looking at tools to actually like make my own keyboard.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
you can just like route your own keyboard. There's like this whole community.
You're the big keyboard guy.
I hate that about myself though. It's like I don't. That was supposed to be a bit, and now it's real. And now that's how you get Reddit ironically. It's like you're just like you're like routing because you want to like have them all go.
If you only go to like weird niche communities, like if you go to like the leather working fastener community on Reddit, it's just like nothing but the world's most informative information about your niche topic.
It's fucked up. It's the MY. You mean the MYOG people? Make your own gear?
I was just thinking of an example of an incredibly niche thing that I might go and go for. And then you're just like, oh yeah, you mean, you know.
Those people usually make like camping gear and like stuff out of ripstop cloth.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Slaps.
Okay, so the funny thing is I have a hitbox already. I just wanted to like print something funny on a keyboard. And now I'm like, what do you call it? Like, now I've gotten to this point where I'm like actually looking at ways to like do dithering and shit on the PCB, and it looks really pretty.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can like, there's a way I can open this up in the camera. Let me see. Application source.
Yeah.
That's not how I want to do.
Alright, time to go get hurt really bad.
Do it. God, I love this fight so much.
It's a classic. God. Wow, do you think they ever explored each other's bodies?
Yes.
Whoa! That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit I'm trying to do.
Oh, it blocks projectiles. We got. He does not have a hitbox on his hammer. What a class! Every time it's so nostalgic. Every time I do this, this game isn't even that old. It feels much older. I think about the fact this game's only like 10 years old. It feels like it's been ruining my life so much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the story though.
It's great.
I won't distract you during the fight, but
First one never counts.
yeah.
Did you play the, I've heard you mention, did you say you played some of the Elden Ring beta, or you know you had a code and you didn't use it?
Somebody was nice enough to let me use the code, and like it turns out that like if you're playing the game on the East Coast, all the times were like 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning, and I'm like, I can't. Oh fuck.
Oh,
So I just didn't have a chance to redeem it.
Would you have some kind of job that's gonna get in the way of you playing Dark Souls, buddy? They're like, listen, we know our fan base.
It's funny. Yeah, no, it was just like, it was just really shitty timing. I don't know. I really like that they decided to do 2 things that are great for my show, which is just like open world games and like Dark Souls games. They decided to like
combine two of the most powerful things for your show into one.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it because all the interviews with Miyazaki, he keeps name dropping Breath of the Wild, and I've always felt like Breath of the Wild is one of the best executed open world games.
Yeah, objectively, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's the reason I still get fucking clips from it, from like Japanese people breaking it in like incredibly obtuse ways.
Whole new ways to break it. Nerd Life, we're going to try to beat Super Ornstein so we can get the spear later. Since we're in Dex anyway.
I won't make a habit of this, but may I be your B bio?
You do what?
I need to use the bathroom real quick.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Mm.
You can make a habit of it. That's fine.
Cool. BRB.
I'm so bad at fighting Super Ornstein, though. I have fought Super Ornstein once, many years. Ah, there we go. There's that attack. Ow. Is possible for Super Ornstein to jump out of the world and die? I didn't know that, but I have had that happen to me with the Centipede Demon. I actually think I fought the Centipede Demon and had it glitch out and like kill itself more times than I've had it like function properly as a boss fight. The first time I fought it, it jumped up and never came back. The second time it fell down and it took like about 15 minutes, but then it just died. It just, oh god, it was a classic. I look forward to the Centipede Demon every playthrough now because I know that the game will probably break some way. But like I like that about it. Ah. That projectile was way slower than I thought it was gonna be. I like the Scythe, I gotta say. This is my first game Great Scything. I get that the Great Scythe is like a standard, but I've never wielded it before. I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's okay.
Okay, I'm back.
I radically accept it. Welcome back! You didn't miss anything important. We're fighting Super Ornstein.
Nice. Oh wait, there we go. Just delay.
Oh, is there? Okay. All I see is like where your camera capture once was now is just slowly a picture of a circuit board moving around.
It's Skull Knight from Berserk.
Oh, that's sick.
Have you've read it, right?
I have not read Berserk, but I will be soon.
I absolutely recommend. I did it like the year for the first time, like the year before he passed.
Yeah.
Which was like insanely fucking tragic.
Oh my!
Like,
I couldn't. He was like 50 something.
Yeah, he was like 50, and like
crazy.
It was so fucked up. I got like, that was like one of the times where I like cried about somebody famous dying because he's like nobody else can do what he's doing right now.
No.
It's like, and everybody's been waiting, even though he's got like addicted to gacha games and shit like that. And
he got addicted to gacha games.
Yeah, he was like, it was part of the reason, and he would do like pixel by pixel like stuff with, like he was just an. Anyway, it's interesting because as a work of art, it starts off like insanely traumatic, and then gets kind of like queerer as time goes on, just in a different gay.
Oh yeah,
in a different way.
I wasn't. I thought you meant to say that when you said that.
I didn't actually. Oh. Look at.
No, I agree. A thing I really like about next time.
I was like, I didn't want to say. No, it like changes because it's like there is a trauma that happened. I hate saying something is about trauma, but like no, this one is.
Oh no. Well, and I thought that the trauma they put their protagonist through was a very particularly brave thing to do, and you're like what otherwise might seem like a very macho, masculinity-centered protagonist. To make him very vulnerable in a way that is not common of. In a way that's very compromising to someone's masculinity, perhaps in a traditional sense. I thought that was a really cool thing to do, to have a character be vulnerable in that way.
Have you? So you know enough about like? Do you watch the show? Like, do you know...
my wife watched the entire show and is a big fan, so I've seen everything she has. I know about like, he's like a childhood assault victim and stuff.
Yeah. But like did you watch the 1997?
Yeah, she watched both of them.
I don't like the new one, obviously. But
yeah, that's what everyone says.
However, yeah, like if you didn't, I won't say what happens in the 97 one because I think it's like it's all leading up to the end of that, and they very judiciously cut that off.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting way because it's like they do certain things about it.
So I know the main plot beats. Like I know is the thing you're referring to the Griffith thing at the end.
The eclipse.
Yes.
So everything in the series is leading, or everything in the anime from 97 is leading up to the eclipse. And then like, so that was most people in America's like relationship to that is just knowing that that's where that ends and like where the fuck does it go after that? And the answer is like, you know, you don't know.
Yeah.
But like, what's really interesting is like, okay, that's rugged. That is a fucking rough thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But like the rest of the series is just about that focal point and digesting what the implications of that are for the next 20 years, which is how you actually do something traumatic. Is you don't do it lightly, you do it with like gravity, and then like even if you're a metal guy, you're like, oh, I have to sit with this, and he did sit with it in a way that is like one of a very singular work of art, if only in comics. Oh, also the fucking music is the guy who did the Paranoia Agent theme and a bunch of other really cool. He's a really eccentric guy. Like Susumu, Susumu Hirasawa is the fucking man. He's like he's not like in terms of like weird synth guys from Japan, he's like not as talented as anyone who was in YMO, but he's just talented in a different weird way.
So do you have like a categorical ranking of weird synth guys from Japan?
I probably do, if I thought about it.
If I had to think about it very much.
I think Hosono's, it's like Sakamoto or Hosono or Saranac. That would be a real tough call. Yeah, so he did all of Satoshi Kon's stuff. He does a lot of like weird, all that weird like, oh yeah, you know, like Enya weird vocalization stuff.
Yeah. That his calling card?
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I tried to roll out of that. Apparently his hammer, I haven't fought this fight in so long, his hammer functions as like an object. It's not like a thing you can clip through. It's very interesting. So I was caught.
Oh, weird.
I was caught with my back to it.
So you can't like iframe out of it?
Certainly not in the way that I tried to there. DS1 is actually the only game in the series that is bold enough to have attacks that ignore iframes, though. I think they're mostly in Artorias, though.
I gotta finish playing Sekiro again.
Oh yeah, you were
so
saying they voted you the best game journalist at it, which means
that was a joke. I joked that when I like previewed it, they were like, "Wow, you got furthest of all the game journalists," which means I'm like your friend who's sort of okay at the game. That's one of the really the things about like streaming and stuff is that like I think I lived with the idea that like you work at Kotaku, therefore like everybody's waiting for you to get cupheaded.
Yes.
And so I was just like, you know, maybe I don't stream as much or really much at all, just because I was like, I don't want like people judging how good I am at a game. That sounds like it sucks.
I'm not trying to get cupheaded. Yeah, totally. Did that happen on stream though? I thought that was like a video. The classic Cuphead.
It was the guy who just didn't like. It's actually funny because like that like first off the guy who like tried to drag him was like I think it was Miles Ian Chong, right? He was one of the main guys. I think it was a bunch of people.
I'm sure.
Yeah, whatever. Go back. Go be in Malaysia about that.
I was about to say go continue to live in Malaysia and stop commenting on U.S. politics.
He used to work at Game Ranks and shit, and I think somebody was like, yeah, he wouldn't just stop talking about how like the nice shoes that he had and was just generally irritating to work with.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
In a previous life, he was a soy leftist. Or not even that.
I remember his soy leftist period. I remember his big fucking rebrand. And he's like, I'm fucking trad now. Like,
yeah, he got trad. The thing that like quote unquote pushed him over the edge that was really funny was like that he like I remember it pretty explicitly because I think it's one of those things where it's like, you know, during that like Gamergate shit and whatever yada yada yada. It's like, oh, okay, here's the people who are like not yelling at you, and here's the people who are yelling at you. So you're just like, okay, sort those people in your head. And I think he like burned enough people in a scene to realize that nobody wanted to like fucking associate with him. So he did like the I am being persecuted for my beliefs thing about something nobody cared about, which was like I think boobs in The Witcher 3. Like I think that at that point I think people were like, no, having like sick cans is tight. We'd sort of like, you know, like rounded a curve past feminist frequency shit.
Yeah,
totally. Into like being horny rocks, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, you just suck. We just think you suck because you're a guy who blows. Like it's not.
Yeah, so he did he just pretended like people were getting mad at him and was like, I'm being persecuted for my beliefs. And that's the end of that story. And then he just and then he got into like scamming people's 45-year-old or sorry 78-year-old like grandma who watches like Fox News. And
you know, that's a gig too, I suppose.
It's a gig. I you know, it's just he's literally never been to the United States.
God, I love how a core part of his brand is like pretending like he lives in the United States.
He extremely pretends that he has ever left his country.
Like,
like he's just
just to pretend he lives in the United States. That kicks ass.
It's also really, really funny that, well, there's a lot of people who do that. Like, you know, I think if you're like Canadian and you're talking about electoralism in America, like, man, I don't know what. Don't tell me what I need to think about Bernie Sanders, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You are in a different country.
Yeah.
Go do whatever.
Go enjoy your healthcare. Like fucking.
Go do whatever the DSA is for over there. I don't know. Do you have one of those? Did we sail past you there? Now we just have a irritating Stem thing, but like I don't know. Do whatever that shit is. I don't care. Don't give a shit. British people, I kind of give a pass to because it's sort of like they give us so much fucked up content. I just think that Canadians,
the British give back to us with their terrible food that they get to.
yeah, or just like it's like you know, I can pretend to be. Like, just don't pretend that you live here, I guess, is more the thing, you know.
Oh yeah, like I get that American politics affect everyone, but like.
You can comment on it for sure. Just don't tell me like I have to vote blue when you can't vote.
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan Peterson, someone brought up. Yeah, he got like miseried.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't his daughter put him in a coma or whatever?
Oh, that's so cool.
That's fucking sick. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So funny.
Yeah.
You could just don't get Munchausen by proxy by your daughter. That really is, because that's the thing is like, you don't want anybody to like, you never want the suffering of another person. But like, if you raised someone who's causing you to suffer against your will,
yeah,
that like is clear, and it's clearly you did something fucked up to do that, then
yeah.
like, dog, I don't know what to tell you there, man.
Yeah, no, he would have thought that his daughter he had to get on his all-meat diet might have some sort of resentment against him.
Everything she was doing, I think, was basically something he was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to go through, like, benzo withdrawal, and for some reason they chose to put him into, like, the fucking pod Darth Vader sleeps in instead of just, like, you know, taking normal medication for your withdrawal.
The part of Thor where Anthony Hopkins like, I must go to sleep now.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I'm going into
the... But it's like for a YouTuber, like... I know he has a real job, but he counts as a YouTuber to me.
He's a YouTuber, sure. God, this fight rocks.
It's one of the best. I'm trying to kill Smoke first, though, which is really a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah, the small, fast guy is so much easier. Did you like how they just, like, redid a version of this fight as the second to last boss fight in Dark Souls 2?
Yep. Someone said they made him go cold turkey, which is deadly. Yes, it is. You don't do that with benzos or anything that, like, fucking interacts with your GABA receptors.
Yeah. Benzos are, like, especially notorious for being dangerous to withdraw from.
Like, heroin, fine. You can go cold turkey on that. It's gonna suck, but, you know...
It won't kill you, yeah.
It will not kill you.
Benzos will.
Yeah. Benzos and methadone absolutely will.
Methadone will? I didn't know that.
I think methadone... No, you know what? I can't say that, but I think it's harder with methadone.
I know that benzos are the big
low.
one, yeah. And alcohol can be too, because it works on a lot of the same parts of the brain as benzos.
Yeah. There he is getting fucked up. That's okay now.
Not my best draw. You were talking about the Hat Man again? Yeah, that's when you take to
Benadryl. About the Hat Man. Benadryl's so fucked. I love that everybody realized that at the same time. Like, yo, Benadryl's so fucked up.
Yes, it is. It like it's a hallucinogen that like only makes you see like spiders and demons.
I like that thread that was going around for a really long time. That was like, hey, remember when everybody just when they got turned 13 did salvia in the United States?
Yeah, I actually talked about this to someone not long ago, and I was saying how like normally I don't like drug prohibition, but I will say that when they were like, oh, salvia is legal now, you can't buy it at the boardwalk, I was like, yeah, that's probably for the fucking best. Like, I should not have been smoking salvia at 17.
The funniest thing about that thread was somebody pointed out, like, it's like, salvia comes from like the curanderas of Mexico, so like the same people who were responsible, who like from the native peoples who we also stole psilocybin from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for you to. There we go. There you go. Get
greedy?
healthy. Yeah, I was gonna say. They talk to like the curanderas and shit who use it ceremoniously, and they're like, yeah, You guys smoke it? What the fuck are you doing?
What do they do?
They eat it very slowly over a period of like 8 hours. And just a nice, gentle high. They never thought to smoke it.
Good God.
That's the funniest thing about it, is that
Yeah,
Americans
that
were like, well,
rules.
this looks like weed. Sure.
We just
And
smoke
it's
it,
like,
yeah.
and it's like, would you like to be a chair for 800 years for 10 minutes?
That rules it. You like smoke it and you're like, all right, well, it turns out I'm a signpost in England in the 1500s, but that's fine because I've always been. But the bad news is I feel extremely embarrassed about it.
I think somebody pointed out, it's like every salvia trip has the valence that you have just wronged a god.
Oh yeah.
Like the wrong god is mad at you, and they're just gonna sit with you and judge you because they know you made a mistake, and it's because you literally made a mistake. You're not supposed to smoke salvia.
Yeah.
However, it turns out it may be really good for addiction, and so like, it also works on a.
How so?
They think it might like like alcohol and drug cessation might be impacted by it. I think.
Ooh.
I've saw in certain ways. But what's really funny about it is like, we were the dumbasses who it works on a totally different receptor. It works on like opiate receptors or something.
It works in a receptor like nothing else hits, or like hits it in the way it does.
Salvinorin, yeah, it fucking hits this one thing. Another thing I got way too into was like not even doing drugs, but like just like knowing about them in a Reddit way. And
Yeah.
so, like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I had a big TCC phase, like way back when people went on something awful. So
dude,
I understand.
I was talking to a friend of mine about the juice thread, and I was like describing.
God. What was that? The juice called? What was the actual substance that was juice?
Give me 1 second.
It was like a powdered benzo fucking or something like that. It was like an absolutely horrendous thing to exist.
Yeah. It was. Let me look it up because I think 3 Liza posted that thread and then they got banned.
Yeah.
This is bringing me to Fiad.
I'm sorry to do that to you. The soup from which we've all come.
Not all of us. I just like looked in it. Like,
Fair.
oh, thank you. I never was a SA poster.
Oh wow, I love that for you. That must be so nice.
It was called Phenazepam.
Yeah, Ben. Oh my God, yeah. The period where everyone was just like getting arrested and shit on something awful because of Fen. That was great.
So Phenazepam, for you guys that don't know, has like an onset of like 8 hours or something.
It's got a bioavailability of 72 hours as well.
Yeah, so it's like, so basically what and it was like, and like that you had to dose yourself on the head of a pin. And so basically the idea was like, oh, I'm gonna take a little bit, don't feel anything, it's been 5 hours, I'll take a little bit more, whoops-a-daisy, I just lost a week.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally just like, people would be like, I blacked out and bought a grand piano.
Yeah.
Or thought about buying a baby grand piano or something like that, like somebody did.
There was somebody who went into a convenience store and they stole a bunch of shit because they forgot they had to buy it. Like,
so cool.
Like it wasn't like they were sneaky about it. It's just a video of them just like walking out like openly, not like no effort to pay, but no effort to hide it, like as if they just like didn't know you had to pay for goods and services.
Yeah. What's really okay? So I actually talked to somebody about this who I knew was an SA poster.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, blah blah blah, Phenazepam, and they're like, oh, I know, I was in that thread. I lost 2 weeks of my life.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh wow, because it turns out they were a TCC poster.
Oh yeah. God, those were the days. Me too. I was never in the juice thread though. I was like, no, I've read the horror stuff. No, because at that point, the time that I found that thread, like, there was enough stories about like, you didn't want to be the Phenazepam guy. It was like becoming a running joke on the website at that point. I was like, oh, I don't know. But it was like, yeah, it was like a powdered, it was like powdered Xanax that was like super duper strong because like the dose is like, for example, like a dose of Klonopin that you might get from a doctor prescribed will be like 0.5 milligrams. So you had to dose like fractions of like micrograms with like an unmarked powder. Like,
People were getting it as like air freshener, I think, or something like that. I don't know what it was, but like, God, yeah, that 2008 to 2012 era Vice internet.
God. Incredible. I remember having the guy who I would buy my research chems from, and he'd be selling them as like, he'd be like, yeah, sorry, it turns out my plant fertilizer business went under, but I got this new fish food business if you guys want to check it out. And then you go in and it's all the same fucking products.
That's so cool.
It fucking kicked ass.
Shroomery.org posters. Shroomery.org is a fucking hilarious website. I love forms of exact... Oh, okay. So that's the one for people who grow psilocybin.
Okay.
And so it's all like... It's all mushroom guys, but it's all like the guys who are mycologists. And like, you can go on there and find some pretty good advice on like the basics of like how to grow oyster mushrooms, it turns out.
Yeah, really? Like, I guess that makes sense. Its principle remains the same, right?
Yeah. Great website, amazing design, someone said. Yeah, and like if you want to, God, if you are ever hankering for like some fucking Terrence McKenna cosmic exploding like dorm room poster signatures, just go there.
Oh hell yeah. I would go anywhere where the forum sig is still in existence.
I miss fuck.
I
miss Blue Light. Blue Light was really good.
Blue Light I remember.
Yeah, Blue Light was really funny. I mean, Blue Light was just like Russian guys like going into like really just doing something they shouldn't. I forget. I was reading like a trip report. God, trip reports are so fucking like if you read a good one, it's like it's like in the same category. It stops being about drugs. It's like an our relationship advice.
Oh yeah, totally.
Thing, you know what I mean? It's just like
my favorite ones are the ones that are like, oh, someone who isn't me took too much phenazepam and chopped their own dick off. Is there anything my friend... Yes, exactly!
Swim or my fish. That was that's where in Minecraft started, was swim.
Yeah, I guess that is the original in Minecraft. Someone who isn't me.
Yeah, swim is just the original in Minecraft. But no, it's just like fascinating stuff. I think I own a copy of TCal, which is the Shulgin book, because it's just like, you know, here's how to make it, here's what this drug feels like, and it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Here's the psychedelics that like the Hell's Angels sold in the 80s or in the 60s as acid and caused people to have an incredibly bad time. I think it was DOM.
There's like, a ton of those like paper bladder ones that are just like fucking bullshit.
That one like lasts like 24 hours or something like that.
Oh god. It's like LSD already lasts too long.
There was, oh man, there is like one or two that are in that Goldilocks range of like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the perfect, because it's just longer than a mushroom trip, like shorter than an LSD trip.
And you don't got to eat all the poisonous mushrooms, which upgrades the mushroom trip significantly.
I think Owlad is like 5 hours, and like, or there's one called LSZ that I only remember because it has like a funny Philip K. Dick name, and because somebody had one of the funniest trip reports. Is that like, I think it was something like, I forget what the song was, but they couldn't. They kept having a panic attack if they changed their song, and it was something funny like the Venga Bus or something like that. So they just did the entire trip while listening to the Venga Bus.
Oh, that rules! I love the name LSC. LSC is like if there was an anime about doing drugs on the internet, it would be called that.
Which one? LSZ? Yeah.
Yes. What a great name.
When I was in Berlin once, I saw there is a company. There is a like I think it's a clothing store or something in Berlin that's just called LSD. And it stands for something. It's like loves. It's kind of like LSD Dream Emulator. It's like it stands for something that's not LSD.
Oh, I really want to stream that at some point. The Dream Emulator. I know it's like just an absolute pile of nonsense, but I am excited to do it.
Yeah, it's really irritating and kind of it's the kind of game you'd make in 3 months conceptually on a PlayStation, and it's also an incredibly singular experience that everyone should play.
Yeah, it's so unique.
They don't know how it works.
No one's, yeah, still, like, nobody's, like, entirely sure how it works, which is incredible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People, like, kinda know how it works now. They're like, I think maybe this governs this part of it, but no one really knows.
The one thing I will say...
All according to plan. Well, not that.
Okay, Kaku. No. The one thing, what were we talking about 2 seconds ago?
I lost my train of thought. I got fucking killed by
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, I really Kikaku did that this time.
I don't know. It's like all that stuff is like, I don't know. I've done acid like a decent amount, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, you can't really get mad at people for that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not really a lie, you know. It's like I don't do hard drugs. I've never done really many hard drugs.
No,
it's just like
the fact that psychedelics are still illegal is kind of goofy. It's like I'd much rather be in a room with a guy on too much mushrooms than the guy who's too drunk. Just for like out of safety.
Yeah, it's just like somebody's on alcohol. You're gonna get fucked up.
Oh,
we were talking about Dallas Street Dream earlier.
That's it.
Yeah, so the book that it comes with is, I mean, the album's amazing. All of Sato's stuff is really good. He's actually an amazing musician. There's like 2 albums for this game.
Really?
But then there's they're amazing. There's like LSD and then LSD and Remix, and they're both like, I don't know what you describe them, like kind of like acid house trip hop shit.
Okay.
So just really fucked up trippy stuff. And then the book is if you get the PDF of it, it's amazing, because it's just it's like the work is meant to be absorbed 3 ways. It's meant to be a book on like 2 albums and then the game itself, and they're all meant to sort of work off of each other. But the idea was they took a dream diary and then made a game around it, and then each dream in the diary has an illustration, and so like it's a beautifully illustrated thing. I'll drop it in the chat. The Dream Journal.
I like that people are talking about life gems in the chat. To harken back to DS2, as someone who had
DS2 rock.
Our DS2, we have oh good, Monsieur Shock is our resident DS2 apologist, so you guys can bond.
It's a good game. It gets a lot of shit, and I think they internalized that and they got better as a result of it. But people throw the baby out with the bathwater with that one.
I agree. Its weakest part is the beginning too, which I think a lot of people bounce off of it because of that.
I still love the opening areas though. Like that fucking one tower area with the big guys like sucks ass.
Tower of Flame, yeah.
But it's a really cool setting.
It is. I'm mostly thinking of No Man's Wharf, which I found to be like an absolute fucking. Everyone I've tried to get to play DS2 like bounces off of it there.
Yeah, that area sucks.
It does suck.
But it's also like how mad can you get when like Dark Souls 1 has the worst area anywhere?
Lost Izalith?
Maybe. I was thinking of well, I love the fucking swamp.
Blighttown?
I love Blighttown, but like.
Yeah, I do too.
I like it on a PC now.
Yeah, no, now that it runs properly, it's great. But I get that when it came out, that was not really the case.
Not fun at all.
Now that you get to experience it, like, and it works, yeah. Because I remember when first time I played this, I played Dark Souls Remastered before I played the original.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't really hate Blighttown so much. I guess because there's poison? I was like, no, because it ran at 2 FPS on the fucking...
Yeah, PlayStation 3.
Yeah, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
4, I guess it would have been.
Was it PlayStation 4?
Oh, it would have been PS3. Yeah, no, it ran like... Sorry, I'm forgetting what era it came. It came out in that fun period of consoles. Like, when a new console is basically just, like, at its life cycle. And
yeah. The
when
Twilight
all the good
years.
games come out.
Yes.
Oh, dude. I just remembered a new trailer for Pocky and Rocky came out. and I'm so pumped for that.
Pocky? What is Pocky and Rocky? Tell me more.
Pocky and Rocky was a Super Nintendo game.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I recognize this name.
Oh, is it already out, or is this just pre-order? Tell me, PlayAsia. I will fucking play this game. Anyway, yeah, it was a Natsume game, and involving like a shrine maiden and a squirrel, and it's like a shooter. And Natsume made it.
It's a shooter?
It's sort of like
that.
Yeah, it's a scrolling shooter, but with like people, which like occasionally you do have.
I like that, but I like when shooters go outside your standard, you know, blasters and spaceships and shit.
Yeah, they're like throwing like leaves and like nuts or something at people, and there's like you do kill yokai with leaf bullets. So hold on, I want to get this right. There's a company. It is not Einen. Oh, Tango Project. Tango Project is so good because they did Wild Guns Reloaded and Ninja Savior, which is like the Ninja Warriors remake. And in both cases, what they did was they like remastered the game and then added like a handful of new mechanics.
Yeah.
And as a result, they became better somehow. Like they took these games that were like pretty goddamn good and then made them like amazing.
Oh, I love
like,
that.
Ninja Saviors and Wild Guns Reloaded are, I think, my two favorite beat 'em ups, or whatever you want to call Wild Guns is. It's like a side-scrolling shooter thing. It's fucking
Wild
bizarre.
Arms or whatever, or
Wild Guns.
Wild Guns.
I think is...
Okay, no, Wild Arms is the JRPG. Sorry.
Yeah, Wild Guns Reloaded is like I don't know how you would describe this game.
It's like Sunset Riders, kind of.
No, because you're you're shooting stuff that's ahead of you.
Okay.
On like I dropped the trailer in there, and it's for people who don't watch it in the chat. And yeah, you're basically on a flat plane, moving left and right and jumping.
Mm-hmm.
But like stuff is coming at you from like the center, from like the vanishing point.
Yes.
And so you're just like sort of all like running and gunning there. It's like it's kind of like it's a weird shooter. But in both.
Is it like a scrolling shooter, like a Gradius?
No, it's just a static. Well, I guess maybe sometimes it's like a static thing. Mostly, it's like you're going from scene to scene.
Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
it's like a static stage, and you're all shooting forward into the backdrop.
Got you. Okay.
I'm sorry, I distracted with you with conceptually just throwing you off.
Oh, it's totally fine.
But they're like some of my favorite. Oh, well, just look up the Wild Guns Reloaded trailer.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had people spamming like hate group links and stuff, so we had to disable links.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah,
it just comes with the territory.
Yeah, it sure does.
But yeah, if you get a chance to play either I think Wild Guns is like $15 on Steam or something like that.
Ooh.
And I don't think I think it's just PlayStation 4 and Switch for the other games. But they're fucking good. They're so good.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I do enjoy that the modern indie climate is allowing certain game franchises that have like, or developers even that have like fallen by the wayside to pick it back up. Like they made a sequel to fucking Monster World 4, which is like a Sega Genesis game I really like.
Somebody was like, I forget
They made 2 sequels to it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I forget what it was. It was like some like NES scrolling game that was on arcade, and they were like gonna reissue it for arcade. I forget what it was.
Okay.
But like I just know my friends who are like select button posters were like really into this trailer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like Metal Slug aesthetically, I would say. That's.
Oh, I like Metal Slug.
I do have nice brows. I do trim them a little bit. Thank you. Chat wanted to know about my brows. But yeah, no, it's God, they're just like incredibly complicated. They're like Dark Souls ass, like Ninja Gaiden level design choices in that game. One of the characters in Wild Guns is a dog and a robot.
Okay. Great.
Like he's like a
I'm on board.
like a Dachshund and then a like it's like a furry Dachshund and then like a little robot, and they are one character.
Oh, that kicks ass. I love that. I'm a sucker for like little guy on large thing character design though. I'm not, you know, I loved Ferrator or whatever from the, I think it was the last Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that shit.
All of the all the characters play entirely differently. It's great. It's
really? Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
usually they're like in that kind of game, they're pretty palette swappy. Maybe it's different projectiles slightly.
This is like they like completely are working in total. They're like you're playing different games.
Oh, they're like completely mechanically different even. That's crazy.
Yes. They all like in that's a hallmark of like both of those games is that you're just like ooh greedy.
Yeah. I can't help it.
But yeah, like Streets of Rage, what was it, 4 or 5? I forget which one that was the new one. Came out and I was like, this is pretty good, but it's also not like Wild Gun. Like that's the thing is I was like, in recent memory we have a perfect beat 'em up.
Yeah. There's a new River City too.
Yeah.
I haven't played that one though. I don't know if that one's good. I just think it's cool. I just think it's cool there's another one.
Have you seen God, what was it? Did you ever play the Lodos game? I wanted to play that.
No, what is that?
Like the Record of Lodos War. There was a game like in the last 3 years.
No, I haven't heard of this.
It's really good. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It is. It's from an anime that from 1994.
I'm on board already.
And it's a really beautiful game. It's a Metroidvania.
Ooh, I do like those.
Yeah, I guess it's Record of Lotus War, Deed It in Wonder Labyrinth, and it's some of the best sprite work I've seen in a game that size.
Really?
Just amazingly beautiful.
God, I'm a sucker for good sprite works. I love that. Like, did you play Blasphemous?
Yeah. No, is it good? Oh wait, no, I did. I own it. I played a bunch
and more
of it.
Yes, it's pretty good. More importantly, it's got like some of the best sprite art I've ever seen. I wouldn't say it's as good of a Metroidvania as say like Hollow Knight, but God, to see like somebody use the amount of power you have now to make just like the perfect pixel art is so satisfying. It's so beautiful.
Someone asked, yeah, it's a Metroidvania style game. It's really, I wanted to play it. Blasphemous is really good, and they did the. I was trying to cover it when it came out, and it was really hard to find an angle. Mm-hmm. But it was like real. I remember being like, no, this game is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's great. And Catholicvania.
Catholicvania.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Steam library and trying to think of. Oh, you know what's a good game is Vagante.
Ooh.
No, that was I followed that in alpha for a minute, and it's basically it's just like it's Spelunky if you had like Final Fantasy stats.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's one of those games where if somebody started like if a big streamer like played it for one game, it would just do really well.
Yeah, someone with the clout just needs to play it.
That's a fucking what Among Us is, you know, it's just like somebody being like, oh yeah, this thing.
Oh yeah, totally. That's like how a lot of these indie games blow up. Phasmophobia too. We do Phasmophobia.
Phasma's so good.
I love Phasma. I love Phasma.
I'm glad. It sucks because there's like a limit on like how much of it you can play before it stops being novel a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, man, great use of VR.
It's just so good. I just want like a big dev to just like buy that up, and somebody just put some money into that to keep growing it because it's so good. I would just love to see a little bit more. Like they started to hire more programmers, are starting to flesh it out a little bit more, and it's going really well.
I played.
God, so good.
The last game. Well, actually, no. I played the Anacrusis is what I was playing last night, which is like rough, but like. So it's also people who worked on Left 4 Dead, except they're doing like whatever that no one lives forever mod shit is.
Okay.
You know, kind of like Deathloop style. It's like, okay, there's a bunch of a diverse cast of people who look like they're doing disco stuff in space.
Ah,
The
like in
prisoner.
space.
Everybody, they're ripping off the prisoner. That's basically it.
Gotcha.
Which is just a weird, you know, Austin Powers adjacent aesthetics.
Space Channel 6.
5. Well, I guess it would be 6 if it's a sequel.
Yeah.
And like I think they need to rework the guns, but it's on Game Pass, so I'm playing that shit.
Yeah. Good.
And it's on Game Pass, and it's people who actually worked on the game and are really leaning into the AI director. Like
Okay.
that was the thing about Left 4 Dead that was good was the momentum.
Yeah.
And that's what people didn't fucking like about Back 4 Blood is that all that like the actual beats sucked ass.
What do you mean the beats like?
Like when they sent in enemies just felt like arbitrary and shitty and not good.
Oh, gotcha.
But like they really give a shit about that in this game, and so now it just like feels like correct. So even though it's this like thing I don't necessarily fuck with aesthetically, it's a great. They have that nailed down.
Yeah.
There's no difficulty slider either.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's just like
it's hard.
It's just a fucking hard game.
There's a market for that these days.
There is a good video comparing Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood. That is true. Somebody did a like, here's how they fucked up thing, and it's a great video.
I was bummed to hear that Back 4 Blood wasn't good because I really liked Left 4 Dead a lot.
Yes.
And when it came out that like Back 4 Blood was not as good, it was heartbreaking.
The Anacrusis has some just like basic like gun feeling correct choices to make.
Yeah.
That they need to fix, but like the bones are there for a good game.
You think it'll be there in a couple updates?
I think so. I hope so, but like yeah, I know a bunch of people who slid off of it just because it felt like mushy.
Yeah, I was just saying when you say the guns feel bad, in what way?
It's hard. It's what happens when you have like Jetson ass laser weapons.
Oh yeah, that's always hard to make those feel good. Like that, even like I think about like the Fallout games. Like it never quite felt as good as just firing a conventional firearm.
Yeah, and the way you get around that is you just make a space gun that feels like a railgun.
Yeah, that
like,
makes sense.
Deep Rock Galactic kind of does that, and Deep Rock Galactic is kind of Left 4 Dead.
I heard that was really good. That's like dwarven space mining Left 4 Dead, right?
Oh, that game is so much fun to just because it's not hard enough. I mean, you can make it plenty hard, but it's not so hard that it like.
There we go.
Victory. It's not so hard that it like. You can talk to your friends and play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a great talking to some friends and doing some bullshit game. It's like the ideal. Because like you know exactly there's a lot of downtime to like figure stuff out.
Yeah. And I do like that. Like I played a probably like an unconscionable amount of like 7 Days to Die simply because it's a great game to play with someone and shoot the shit at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Souls game eventually.
Yes, I'm really excited to see how they do some of the multiplayer implementation in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Because I played Neo 2, which I thought the game was fine, but its co-op implementation is like the best that I've seen in any Souls-like. It's like, have you played it?
Which one?
Neo 2.
Oh, Neo 2, yeah. No, Neo 2's awesome. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about Neo, which is I have played both of them, and I don't think I've finished either of them because they're fucking long.
Yeah,
they're really
I didn't
way
finish
too
it either,
fucking...
yeah.
Yeah, but I think my all-time favorite game until Souls came around was Ninja Gaiden for Xbox with the Hurricane Pack.
Yeah.
Specifically, I got really competent at that.
Okay.
And like that was the thing about Team Ninja. Sorry, itchy notes. That's the thing about Team Ninja is that Neo 2's combat's better. I'm sorry. Like it's just Neo's combat is like I think it's kind of apples and oranges, but like those motherfuckers made Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah.
And it shows. Like it feels really good. Those games feel debatably better than Souls games ever have. Except I think Sekiro, they're like, okay, now they're on the back foot a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Life.
Thou hast journeyed far and overcome much, chosen undead.
Yeah.
We all know what this says already, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. There's the
God
classics.
bless. God. Play the hits. Oh yeah, Time for Amazing Chest is also good.
Yeah, I've seen yeah, try two-handing, try thrust ahead. My favorite one was DS2, in addition to the word fatty, which for some reason isn't all of the Dark Souls is a word you can put down. They had the word beanpole, because I guess they decided that they needed like a derogatory equivalent to fatty for thin people. And so those all say time for beanpole, which I really enjoy.
I'm looking to see if I have Neo 2 on my fucking Steam. I think I have it on PlayStation somewhere.
Yeah.
I gotta finish Sekiro again.
People are comparing the character creator in Elden Ring to the character creator in Neo 2, which has me really
Neo
excited.
2, that's high praise.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
Neo 2's got the best character creator I've ever used, probably.
How the fuck did they manage to get black hair when like nobody else did? Like they, you know, it's just like that they like actually have really good hair design in that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, one of my mutuals, Bloach, said the same thing. He's like, I check out every character creator by seeing if I can make a cool looking black guy in it. And he's like, yeah, you can do it in Neo 2.
It's really Bloach is a good poster.
Yeah, Bloach is a great poster.
And yeah, no, Neo 2, like out of left field. I was like, was not expecting that. I was expecting that in like, or I guess it's like, because like whenever that happens, it's usually because game developers have been yelled at very, very justifiably for not knowing how to do that.
Yes.
And so there's always this valence of like making a big deal of something. That's the thing. When you just do something cool and you don't make a big deal of it, it's cool. When you make a big deal of it in a way that is like a marketing push, it always feels a little false.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like oh, we've made Tracer gay, and it's like I don't care.
Yeah, no,
You know,
totally.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. But with that, it was like, oh,
look at Tracer in the first place and think like, oh yeah, you know.
Sure.
That
yeah,
woman looks straight.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
no,
like,
totally.
We made the first, you know, the person with Asperger's and ADHD. It's just like I don't. But
which game has the first character with Asperger's?
I think it was Apex had. I don't. They weren't the first. I just know they had an autistic character in Apex. Yeah, Watson. Yeah, Watson has autism.
Canonical? Really? Interesting.
I guess The Sims does. That's cheating, though. Have you ever heard, the Simlish? Have you ever gotten really into the Simlish covers of popular songs that they put out?
No, but I've gotten really into the original songs that they recorded. Like, what's the one called? Like Another Life or something like that? That like nobody could figure out who actually sung it for like years and years.
The covers, It's Getting Hot in Here in Simlish will make you feel like you're having a stroke. Because it's like you know what you're supposed. It's like hop hop, and it's just like you feel like you just got hit in the head with a fucking club.
I was just like you're having a stroke. Like,
there is a J-pop Simlish song that is I forget what it is, but it's like actually good because it's weird because Simlish is not a real language. It's fucking made up and fake.
Yes.
It doesn't. They didn't do the thing where you like. I'm sure they have a map of some of this stuff now that they're like in, but I think they made it gibberish on purpose.
Yeah.
The J-pop one feels like Japanese Simlish.
Interesting.
And it's to a fairly popular song. And I think it's the person doing it. And so it's like ya la da greeb da blah blah derb. And it just like it feels like they have like the phonemes correct, but in a totally gibberish language.
Oh, I love that. That
Like,
sounds incredibly disorienting, but I love that.
Yeah, but it's also the best one. I'll look it up in a sec. So people can play along at home.
I like that everyone in the chat is just calling out who they think is the first autistic fucking video game character now.
Yeah, it's Yaosobi by Harujian.
Yeah.
Just that in Simlish.
Oh god. Just the idea that I can't believe that you get DMCA'd for symbol. I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
It would probably like detect the parts of the song that were like not vocals.
It probably wouldn't. Yeah, I guess it would depend on if like there's an extended instrumental break or something.
Yeah, that would probably get you in trouble. I think it's the original artist. She fucking did a killer job. I mean, that's the thing about J-pop artists, is they fucking nail it. They're really good. They're really good at singing. I think I never really like got into K-pop, but I still like occasionally get into J-pop because occasionally you'll just see an Asebu like music video. Like you'll see like a way into left field weird music video occasionally with J-pop in a way that you kind of don't with K-pop. Like K-pop feels like it's more for export.
Yeah. Well, K-pop is like explicitly designed for export.
Yeah. I love him.
I love how they just like wiped these guys from existence in Dark Souls 3. They're just like, that doesn't fit the whole aesthetic we're doing anymore. Get these guys out of here.
Vor. I think this is the only fight I one-shot. Is this Four Kings?
This is not, well, this is dropping the Lord Vessel.
Oh, yeah.
At the door, so not yet. Four Kings is fun, though. I like Four Kings.
Yeah, that was the one I think I, like, got in, like, one shot.
You just put, if you wear heavy armor, you just kind of walk in there and fucking beat them all to death. The first time I did it as a sorcerer, and I had, like, robes on. I was like, this is impossible. How could anyone do this? And then I had my second run, I wore Havel's armor, and I was like, oh.
I gotta replay 3, like, I mean, I gotta replay all of them, but I gotta replay 3 because, like, I really like it. I think I have more complicated feelings about it now.
Yeah.
I think, like, as time goes on, it's like, you were kind of playing the hits. That's not the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think people got so mad at you. That's part of the reason why I get mad at people for getting mad at 2, is that I think it prevented 3 from having a lot more bold choices.
Oh, I agree with that, yeah. 3 was very clear, like, and they didn't even put stuff from 2 into 3 until it was very clear that the game was a success, and they went back to the DLC and started to add DS2 references. But
yeah.
Like, you could tell it was like, we're sorry, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, here's the game you wanted, here's more of DS1, here you go.
I just, like, I think no, like, one of those, like, holy shit emotional moments that I rarely have in games. I think I had a couple of those with Inscription.
Oh, I love Inscription. Is my favorite game that came out last year.
I think so,
Inscription
too.
fucking whips ass. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. It has some problems. I don't care. It's good. It's perfect. The Vendrick fight in 2 is emotionally one of the most fucked up things that has ever happened in the series.
You feel shitty. You walk into that room.
You feel like shit.
Yes.
You feel so shitty. Like sort of like, I think the more emotionally resonant, it's hard to top like the last fight in this.
Yeah.
I think the first time I played Dark Souls 1 and I heard that song, I cried or something like that.
Plin plin plon.
Yeah, that shit like got me so, because I was just like not expecting this, like one of the most beautiful songs that's ever, probably the most beautiful song that's ever appeared.
It's so sad. Oh my god.
But Vendrick is really like, if you have to make another choice, it's Vendrick, and there's no Vendrick in like Dark Souls 3.
I think if you do you do Siegvard's quest line so that he delivers his monologue to Yorm, I think that one's really powerful. I don't know if you've ever done that.
I don't think I have, so I'll replay it and do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have to remember, but I want it to be a surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I do think Bloodborne has like more of those. Actually, I think that's part of the reason why people get so fucked up about Bloodborne, is that it has, I think, the most amount of that.
Oh yeah.
I think it has more. Like, it's just like, oh wow, that's fucked up. Damn, dude, that's really fucked up.
Bloodborne just is just like bad things happening to people, to good people for no reason, like the game.
Dude, I saw that rumor that they might be doing some Armored Core shit, and I'm like, fuck yes. Oh,
Yeah, I'm waiting to see, like, you know, waiting for proper confirmation, but I would certainly love for that to be true.
'Cause Metal Wolf Chaos kind of plays well. I'm sorry.
Metal Wolf Chaos, I'm going to stream at some point because
It's so good.
it looks just, yeah. We found it, like, someone showed it to me while I was streaming, and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll raise, like, the money for it or something, and, somebody immediately donated, like, the exact price to the cent that it costs on fucking Steam
eBay?
right now. Not Steam.
Oh, Steam,
It's
yeah.
on Steam! Devolver
I
put
forgot,
it on Steam!
yeah, I forgot, remember that whole thing where they
Make
did the
America
MAGA
Great
thing.
Again!
Yeah. I think maybe this is just working in the media for 8 years, but like I don't have patience for like medium low level culture war fights anymore.
Yeah.
In part because I think that like, not to get too deep into it, but I think that like there's been an ontological framing in gaming like that's been fucked up where I think everybody thinks that like we all have to agree with each other. You know what I mean? Like it's just like there's a lot more like weird milsim stuff. People will be like, oh, or like Mordhau or something like that. Be like, oh yeah, there's just like a lot of shitty people in the subreddit. It's like, yeah, that's did you play PC games when you were like in the 2000s? It's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, like I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna get some people who are kind of fucking like cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit like that, or like you're gonna get. I think like in the case of something like Kingdom Come Deliverance, that's like if Varg made a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a different math. But like
Yeah.
when people are like, oh, they're doing ironic winkies, I was like, what are you actually mad at? Because like
Yeah.
that's really, if you can articulate that to me, then I will give you credence. But like so much of it feels like when you get like follow shamed for following somebody named like the gay frog. and like somebody's just like, oh, you know, you look at his post, it's like, I don't care. What are you actually mad about?
Yeah,
So I
you
think-
got your
yeah.
in trouble for following Twitter user like @turbopedophile. But like all his posts are just like irony posts. It's like this. It's like
the gay incest guy. You know, it's like, yeah,
the incest guy is a class.
I do like incest guy. I know way too much about incest. I don't even follow incest guy.
I met incest guy at a Chapo library.
That makes sense.
He comes up, he's like, hey, I know you. I was like, dude, okay, who are you? He's like, I'm the incest guy.
Yeah, it's the incest guy. Yeah, you know, you meet some characters online.
Yeah.
But it's like that same kind of like somebody, okay, I think you might have seen this, like somebody got I did a post making fun of pit crew avies. Where I was like, oh, I love every time you sell something to me.
It's the sound that people make.
I made like just like a fucking basic dumb fucking poster. It's like, oh, now that Chile has a socialist president, there's the state is sending in, it's like fucking shock troops, and I just did 4 pit crew avies. And people thought that was funny because they're like, yeah, you know, somebody in Langley like pretending to be like a gay teenager to say that like Palestinians shouldn't have rights. Or that like cobalt mining is intersectional. And then like eventually somebody thought I was being homophobic. Which is funny.
Based.
That's so cool, dude. It's like you can just say whatever you want on here, man. It's so cool.
You can truly say whatever you want on the internet these days.
It's like, what does that mean? What is what you're saying mean? Nobody ever has an answer.
Well, it's also like it's not like being gay means that you have a pit crew Abby. That is a trait that is unrelated to being gay that some gay people may do, but it's not like
just the
people
one
had pit crew Abbies at fucking Stonewall. Like, what do you fucking...
Yeah, but also just that one specific one we all know about because we've seen like one of those say like something. It's funny because like a month later I saw it was like Bad Mideast Takes posted someone with a pit crew Abby saying that the Middle East would make a lot more sense if the United States just chose the government for everyone. And it's like, you guys can't get mad at me anymore. We have the demonstrable proof that one pit crew Abby can.
That's a craven one.
A pit crew Abby did throw the first brick at Stonewall.
That's true, yeah.
Not even all of the picker ups, just that one.
It's just that one guy that we all hate.
Oh,
That's respectable.
yeah, that's nice. It's tasteful.
I think so. No, but I know what you mean when it's like a, people will be mad there was a lot of this around The Last of Us 2, where everyone had, like, everyone from every different spectrum of, like, the political sphere had their own thing to be mad about in The Last of Us 2.
That was so
and
funny,
everybody
dude.
was just mad at it, like, from every political opinion.
It's that one scene from Golden Wind where all three of them are kicking the same guy on the ground.
And then, the one gets up and starts kicking him as well.
Kicking him
exactly.
as well. Yeah, it's the exact same. Everybody was like, that was so cool, dude. I didn't play that fucking game. I think I played it for like 15 minutes or something like that at work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good. That's the thing. Like, my critique of that game is, I don't know. I just don't feel like having like to look at that much. And I'm also gonna get enough clips from it anyway, so that I can play. Like, I play enough of every game to like get a taste of it.
Yeah.
But in that case, I was just like, I kind of get it. You know, I know what you've, because I had to cover all the press for it and shit, and I was just like, I'm good. You know, just sometimes it's like I'm fine with people having vibes-based critiques of games. Just like don't consider it don't say it's a moral failing.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like, this just feels kind of fucking gnarly, dude. I don't need to write an essay about why.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I remember when The Last of Us 2, like, everything I hear about The Last of Us 2 would be like a dope article that's like, in this new Last of Us 2 scene, you kill a dog with a crowbar, your bare hands, and then you cry about it, and you feel awful. And I was like, man,
I just don't want to do that.
That's just like not, yeah.
Never been in the mood to do that, and also but also in like I don't want to feel seen in that way.
Like, I'm probably going to play it at some point because they're like a significant piece of horror media, and we do a lot of horror here, so I'm probably going to play it at some point. But I will say that I haven't up until this point because every time I hear about something, it just makes it sound not bad. Everyone says that the gameplay seems good. It just sounds so depressing.
What if a trans man could kill a dog?
Oh
man. Just like I don't know.
Sure,
yeah, you know. There's like a lot of like games where I'm like, I don't know why you made this. Like I feel that way about the fuck is it? Ghost of Tsushima. That rolled off my brain, man.
Oh yeah?
Like I get that people like that game, and I like parts of that game a lot, like mechanically, but it just like it felt like a guy who like the plot just, and like apparently it was very popular in Japan, although the pacing of the dialogue was off because they needed to have it be uniform for English and Japanese.
Really? I didn't know that.
And so, like, yeah, no, it's actually a really weird thing. If you look at the dub, it's paced incorrectly. Like, people have pauses in Japanese between sentences that infer certain things, and there's none of that because it's just paced like English. And like Famitsu still gave it like a fucking whatever 5/100ths or whatever their fucking system is.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I
because
think
they were like, damn, you guys like did a lot of research and made something that's like kind of good. And I don't disagree with it. It's just it feels like a guy who got really into Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah, I mean,
but like
they have a Kurosawa mode, don't they?
Yeah, no, they just felt like really middle brow taste, I think, is the thing that I wasn't 100% into, because it's like I love Japanese cinema like obscenely, but it's like you gotta go with something. You gotta go with like, you know, I don't know, harakiri, just something I really like.
Yeah. Would you say it was? You say when you say middle brow, is that a critique of it being too lowbrow or too highbrow?
No, they like in between.
No, I know what it means, but when you say it's middle brow, where would you have liked it to land? If not middle brow, I guess is what I'm asking.
I guess well, one or the other. Like either
got you. Lean into whatever.
Well, or like I think it's like, why would I play this game when Sekiro exists?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
fair.
I don't need like a painfully accurate simulation of the era. And like it feels weird, not in like appropriative way, just like I just don't know, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
Like,
makes
unless you're
sense.
doing like Kessen or something like that, where it's like a hyper realistic, like day in the life thing. But it's this weird thing where it has to be like, and it looks pretty-ish in
Yeah.
certain ways. Like, I think it's the
Looks
saturation is too.
great.
Oh, I thought the saturation low was too much, but like that's just me. But it's technically impressive.
But I agree. I felt like Sekiro gripped me. Sekiro was gripping a lot more.
Got that grip.
Yeah. Ooh, you may have dropped a transient cursor there. I'm gonna go back and grab that. But no, I felt the same way about Ghost of Tsushima. It's kind of. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I'm excited about Elden Ring, but I'm like sick of open world games. I'm sick of walking around.
You have to be really fucking good at it, man. Like, you gotta know what you're doing, and you gotta be designing for more than a year from now. And I think that's the thing I don't like about open world games is like the Ubisoft level of care that some companies put in.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is just enough to sustain like a year's worth of interest tops.
Yeah.
Like, people still play GTA like GTA 3 through 5, and are still doing. Like, that's the thing about Breath of the Wild is like, people are fucking still playing that game and they're still breaking it, and it's like the reason why Elden Ring's appealing to me is like I trust them to put the requisite amount of work into an open world game.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, you know, like I trust them to do that. They're adults, you know what I mean? And they don't do a game that you can't play 50 million times.
Yeah.
Like, that's every game they've never made is that like that thing that Breath of the Wild has and the thing that GTA has.
Miyazaki is just his like very exacting style that he makes. I think it just makes for such incredible games.
Or even Rockstar. Like, Red Dead is like the problem is it's 2-1 setting, so as a result, people just bounce off of it a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's completely fair, but like it's the only one, it's the closest one of those that we've made in America for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like I don't dislike. I actually liked the last Assassin's Creed quite a bit.
Valhalla?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, it's not great. It's pretty good.
Fair.
Like they know that there's two ways they can do this. They can do a lot of Desmond shit, or they can have fun, and they went with have fun. And
Good.
they also did a bunch of like raiding stuff. So like it's like you'll have a party to do Viking raids and shit like that. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. There's like an immediate reference to the Dream of the Rood in like the second you hit England, and I'm like, all right, yeah, fucking you guys are employing somebody with a fucking old English degree.
As they should. As you should
Yeah,
for a game like that.
Yeah. But it's also like, oh, man, like the fart. Oh yeah, sorry.
This room. No, it's not your fault. This room is always this room. We are calling it open world games,
it's
Casey.
that fucking Far Cry level of commitment to something, man. I don't care. like I'll fucking play it. Actually, the smartest thing Ubisoft did was make like their version of Game Pass. So every time I have to play one of their games, I can like play it for $15 for exactly 1 month. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there is a Viking specialized historian game streamer who tore that game apart. Of course there is. But that's correct levels of middlebrow.
Yeah.
Like, actually, that is, when you ask, like, what did I want out of Ghost of Tsushima? Kind of that. Like, enough to know something sort of well, but enough to also do some goofy shit, too.
Yeah. I don't think anyone of us said that was like, wow, Ubisoft must have made this incredibly historically accurate game. You're like,
I don't want, like, something that's, like, serious and also sort of accurate. Actually, Neo, the first Neo game, has a great plot.
Does it?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you actually get into the writing of the first Neo game, it's, like, based on a real guy?
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's based on, what the fuck is his name? He was an alchemist, I think.
William Alchemy, inventor of alchemy. Also, hello, Casey Explosion. William Adams?
Yeah. Yeah, it's based on a real guy. Yeah, is the first guy to reach Japan in 1598 on the Dutch East India Company. They just like devil may cry him up.
Oh, I do love that. I do like that idea.
If you ever want to see a cool character design, and it sucks because he's really late in the game. The character design for Yasuke, who was the historically black,
the Black Samurai.
Yeah, Black Samurai. It was the. I wanted to like that cartoon more. But his character design is so tight, and he has like a bear as like a spirit.
Okay.
And it's just really, really cool.
That sounds like it kicks ass.
John D. and Edward Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one. Sir Edward Kelly was a occultist and self-declared spirit medium.
Oh. Is that the guy who invented chiropractic?
Kelly also claimed to. Oh yeah, he thought he had the secret to the Philosopher's Stone. His relationship with Queen Elizabeth I, the Royal Magus, and John Dee.
John Dee was known as the Eyes of the Queen, which is why he turns into a 100-eye monster with Amrita at the end. Interesting.
It's so tight. Neo rocks. It's just way too fucking long, and you got to do way too much grinding.
Yeah, it's so hard, and like.
That's very Team Ninja, though. They love doing shit like that.
Yeah,
they love making a game that's the incorrect length and then giving you a hell level, and I got to agree with them on that one. like the closest I think Souls ever did is like the Chalice Dungeon shit. And
Are you sure they didn't make a game of an incorrect length when they made Dark Souls 2? Because I gotta say, but I was level 200 by the end.
Well, not in the Neo sense. Like, Neo will make you go back to, like, similar spaces as stages, and then, like...
I hated that about Neo 2. So much retreading of similar areas.
Yeah, it's like if you want to grind weapons, it's like a pain in the ass. It's like, it's just not... You know, you can do a go... It's really... You have to power level a lot in it. Horizon Zero Dawn does have... Let you finish these people off. Horizon Zero Dawn does have some surprisingly good storytelling in it, and I think one of the guys worked on New Vegas, and that's why.
That makes sense. That's weird,
like,
because I heard people say that the New Vegas spiritual sequel, Outer Worlds, was not very good, so it's interesting.
I liked it. I think the problem is that Disco Elysium also came out.
Oh, and has unseated it as the best written game of all time, yeah, because Disco Elysium is literally just a fucking book. Like...
That's the problem, is that, like, the people I know who were saying that I liked it a lot when I played it, but I didn't play enough of it. I think it's just, like, it kind of does, like... I think the thing is, I liked it more than I should have because I fucking hate Fallout 4.
Oh, Fallout 4 is so
3.
bad. Yes.
Yeah, incorrect. I'm sorry, you guys made the wrong game.
Yeah.
A lot of cool shit happens in it.
There's cool parts,
man,
yes.
Or even just, like, stuff you can do with the game's engine. Like, there's so much stuff you can do with it, but fuck is that game not good.
No.
And, like, oh, man, you know what they need to do? They just need to, like, make a Lovecraft game already. They need to make Call of Cthulhu a game, because they made one that was good.
Did they? Is this the one that got, like, sucked off the internet because of, like, a dispute between the two different devs or whatever?
Probably. The one that ZeniMax put out? Or it wasn't, I think it wasn't them, but it was somebody tangentially related to them, so I'm being incorrect here, sorry. The Xbox Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth you should play, actually, because it's a survival horror game.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah. They do the, have you ever read The Horror Out of Innsmouth?
No, I haven't. But I mean, like, at this point, I think we're all, like, at least tangentially familiar with the hits of Lovecraft, you know?
The basic premise of Innsmouth is, what if you got to a town and there were a bunch of Irish people there?
Okay, horrifying already.
First off.
Yeah.
Lovecraft was racist and incorrect except about the Irish.
He's
right. He's right. If you've ever been to Methuen or Lynn, he was correct. But yeah, it's pathologic adjacent. So basically, It fucking sucks to play, but it's fun. They do the whole so basically he goes to a town where there's a bunch of fishmen who clearly are a proxy for the Irish.
Okay.
And it's just about like being in a town that doesn't want your type here.
Gotcha.
Which is a great vibe. And
a funny topic for a guy who is really racist to tackle though.
Yeah, no. I think he based it on like a town in like Essex in that area. Like Amesbury or Newburyport or something like that.
Word.
And I think he based it on Newbury. I'm from the North Shore, so I know this. But they do a lot of. There's a great chase scene where they're just like trying to like get into your room and you have to run away.
Mm-hmm.
And they do the vertigo thing every time you look down from a high height.
What is the vertigo thing? Like
the shot from Vertigo when he looks down and where they like move the camera forward but zoom out.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
That's
so like
cool.
you get vertigo in the game if you like are like trying to like. What, did the stream freeze?
I don't know.
No, we're not. We're good. We're good.
We seem to be fine on my end. Yours did. Okay. Yeah. Well.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wait. I'll turn mine. Okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, stream is fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We have transcoding. We're partners.
It's the kind of survival horror game where it's like a first-person shooter, but if you break your leg, you have to put it in a splint.
Gotcha.
It's pretty fun. It's
the
probably has
Xbox
not aged.
360 era survival horror.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That siren ass era of games.
Oh,
That's a great thing about
Siren.
being. I gotta play Siren. Oh wait, hold on. Let me.
Right before I was actually about to mention Condemned. I was about to say that was that's very endemic of the kind of horror game that was a popular game to make.
That game
era.
holds up pretty well, I'm assuming.
As long as you can get past the fact that you're like a police officer shooting homeless people the whole game.
Basically, yeah. Oh, have you ever heard of Shadow of Memories?
No, what is that? I've never heard that one at all.
Shadow of Memories is a fucking wow. That's a left field. It is a Konami-made PlayStation 2 era adventure game involving time travel.
Ooh, God, remember when Konami made games? God.
Remember when they made games? Who plays the homunculus in this? There's a character. I like bought this game, and it's also called Shadow of Destiny.
Okay.
It's from 2001. It's either Shadow of Destiny or Shadow of Memories. Oh yeah. The homunculus is like a time traveling character who is played by motherfucking Charles Martinet.
The voice actor for fucking Super Mario?
Yeah.
What?
So it's a really weird.
It's
fucking...
immediately. What the?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I clipped it a while back.
God, that rules. That's deranged, but that rules.
It's so weird to hear him out. It's so weird when they let him out.
Well, because he's just like, I don't know. It's like, it would be like hearing Mickey Mouse's voice in something else.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Like, I get he's technically a real guy who exists in the world, but it feels so strange.
I don't know how to put this in a place. I guess I'll put it in the Discord. I'm in your Discord.
Yeah, drop it in the Discord.
So you guys can react to join the Discord.
He does a really ethereal, androgynous voice for the character.
It's fucked up. It shouldn't work. It kind of does.
Really?
Yeah. Where do I put this? Put this in general.
Yeah, just drop in general. Wherever you drop it, we'll just say it on the stream. Everyone will know where it is.
Yeah, it's in general.
All right. Yeah, check the general channel in the Discord. Charles, I can't. Does he like do a lot of games besides Mario? I don't think I've heard his name.
Yeah, he plays a motherfucking twink. It's weird.
That's very weird. Yeah. That's so like. How did they?
I don't know.
What was like? Know. You know who?
That was the year. That was the exact year you could do that. I guess before like. Nintendo, like, between, like, Nintendo being like, oh yeah, that guy we get occasionally, to, like, he lives in a fucking crystal cube, and we will never let him do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, Nintendo at this point probably just pays him not to take other jobs. Like,
You will never talk to anybody else except to say the goofy, it's a me, Mario. Dude, have you ever seen the transcript of Charles Martinet? Yeah, thanks for dropping the link in the chat so I don't have to. Or so that you, because you can.
yeah, some of my mods.
When the description for Charles Martinet gave about him riffing Mario for the first time is the funniest thing I've ever read.
What,
I can pull it up.
What did he say?
Dude, I can't even do it justice without the original quote.
I know that he went in and like didn't know anything about Mario. Just kind of like did a Italian guy voice.
Yeah, but the actual like the actual like time he did it was like very funny. I think it was a Polygon article. Yeah, if you can find the actual quote on that, like, I want to get the actual specific, like... You know, I think I posted it at one point, so I'll just search my shit for...
Someone says he panicked at the audition, just started babbling incoherent Italian stereotype nonsense about pizzas and pastas, and Nintendo said it was perfect.
It's so funny.
God, when was this? Is this like in preparation for like Mario 64? I guess.
I think it would have had to have been, yeah.
Right, because that's the first time that Mario had a voice, outside of like the cartoons where he had a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
It's from Mario Paint, someone says.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, I guess SNES they had to have like started getting him in it.
Yeah. Mario teaches, I'm hearing Mario teaches typing, then Mario 64. Interesting. I played Mario teaches typing as a kid. That's how I learned how to type. I'm still bad at typing, and I'm worse now because I have acrylic nails, but that is how I learned. My parents had it. I think it's how my dad learned to type too.
I'm just posting so that somebody can get it to me.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it. I found it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is, he says, decided what he did, it was a bit of serendipity when he auditioned for the Mario gig. He was the first and last to do so. The producer was already packing up for the evening, and Martinez said, asked to read for the role. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, the producer said, told him he should just improv a few lines, and then when he was done with the audition would be over. Martinet was originally going to use the stereotypical Italian-American Bronx accent, but decided it wouldn't be too appealing to children, and instead came up with this. Hello, it's a me, Mario. Okie dokie, let's make a pizza pie together. You get some sausage, I go get some spaghetti. We are gonna put the spaghetti and the sausage in the pizza. Then I'm gonna chase you with a pizza. Then you're gonna chase me with a pizza. Then when you catch me with the pizza, we are gonna make the lasagna. And then when we make the lasagna, I'm gonna chase you with the lasagna. And then we are gonna make some other kind of a pasta.
Why did that script sound like the way that somebody would explain to like a sex worker what they want done? Okay, first I'm gonna chase you, and then you're gonna chase, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, then I'm gonna be a spooky ghost, and, but then you have to do the Ghostbusters thing and have sex. Yeah, it's just like, it's literally, it's like a stupid John who has the like brain of a 5-year-old.
It's truly. God, it sounds like an AI generated children's YouTube video.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So everybody got like mad about those. Instead of just being like, well, this is like just the end result of how you've constructed this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is like
yes.
that people in the third world are just gonna like get Blender.
Yes.
And do confusing things that are SEO optimized.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest one, or not funny, haha, because it's still, I don't want to know the working conditions involved with this, is people in what appears to be Southeast Asia, because like there was a trend of like these two guys who made like dirt castles, like they were like livable sized houses out of mounds of dirt.
Okay.
And so like a million guys, there's like a million different channels now that's just that, because it's like, okay, do we have a camera that is like halfway decent and like two guys that are willing to do this for a day?
Yeah.
And I think the same people who make those started doing like Mentos experiments dressed as Spider-Man.
Okay.
And so even more disturbing than the like, you know, alligator crocodile one, which I love, is a guy dressed as Spider-Man, like two guys dressed as Spider-Man putting a bunch of like sodas into a dirt hole with Mentos. And there's like a million of those videos. It's like Spider-Man Halo Master Chief Soda Mentos Challenge. And like, if you look up Spider-Man soda, you will see what I mean, because they all have 10 million views.
It's fucking YouTube for kids, I guess.
It's so, you will just
the
get,
SEO
you know,
fucking kings.
Yeah.
Deranged.
Yeah.
Fucking deranged.
Yeah, 139 million views is Spider-Man experiment, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Pepsi, Sprite, Miranda, and Mentos in Heart Underground. 139 million, and the channel is called Among Us. I just dropped it in general.
The channel is called Among Us.
The channel is called Among Us. Like, this is just like when you see, this is just the They Live glasses being put on, you know, like for YouTube.
Oh my god.
It's just
the channel
so
being
fucked
called
up.
Among Us is such a fucking cherry on top of that story.
Yeah, it's just, they're just putting, it's just, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. And the fact that there's like 5 million of them is so funny.
God, somebody makes their living doing this.
One guy, and then I'm sure he like employs a bunch of like, I don't want to know how this is made, man. This feels like it. Oh, I'm watching it now. It's like 10 minutes long, and there's just like the most fucked up. Like this is more fucked up than some pornography I've seen, because it's just like the idea of like an American company's a computer of an American company has decided that these things are important. So how do we maximize this in the most fucked up way possible? In ways that feel probably gross. It might have been called Fall Guys for a few months. Who knows? And they might actually that might backfire if they tried it.
Why would that backfire on them?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't. I work on YouTube, and
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like trying to please a god.
Yeah, from my experience, everyone I know who like does a lot of YouTube content creation is just kind of like beholden to this. It feels like almost like a
You're in a cargo
primitive
cult.
religion kind of feel, where we're just trying to appease this force that no one understands.
If we get these thumbnails, a ship will drop a crate of canned pineapple on our abandoned island.
Exactly.
That they don't know has indigenous people on it. Like, no, it's real people. Okay, yeah, it's not animation. This is real people. For context, like digging a heart-shaped hole in the ground, then like filling it with Mentos and I think sometimes real soda, and sometimes it's just like the knockoff version of those sodas that they have.
Okay.
And then watching it as the most disgusting thing, you know, the Mentos shit, like, happens.
And then what the Spider-Man
they're
just like stand there and watch as... Oh my god.
I mean, it's not the most, that's the thing, it's not the most fucked up thing you can do to please the algorithm, but it's just like, it really does feel like this is our fault. Like,
yeah, no,
like
absolutely.
everybody involved, you know what I mean? Like
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like, it feels like this is just like when you see how like, T-shirts are made or something like that, or you're like, oh, this is probably something I did.
Yeah, well, it's like, even when you're just doing SEO, it feels dirty and bad.
Yeah, it feels fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels, it's definitively inhuman.
It's that thing of like, yeah, wait, did they make that video of the dude pouring Mentos in the hole and a bunch of fish coming out, and then a small gator does, and he panically stabs it? You know, they might have. They did. There's a lot of content that's like nature trap, how to catch catfish. That's like adjacent to that, and it's like somebody creating a way to like pretending to make a fish trap. That's like how to catch a catfish. It's like, oh, you know, you could just do this with sticks and mud, and it's like there's definitely a guy with a catfish in a tank off camera.
Yeah,
like,
oh, totally.
We don't need a Butlerian jihad, all right?
What is the Butlerian jihad?
I don't know.
I don't know. I definitely don't need it.
It's a Dune thing. I don't... Mids. Dune was mids. I love every time, like, Dune comes up, I will say that everybody watching people who don't know Frank Herbert's whole deal, learn Frank Herbert's whole deal.
Isn't it like, doesn't it like slowly become more and more fetish content as it goes on?
No, he's just like a Heinlein shaped man. You know, like, you know how Robert Heinlein, you like learn more about him and you're like, oh, you are a weird libertarian who like believed in like Sea Org shit. Like that's what makes Starship Trooper good, is that do you know anything about like how they made that movie?
No, I didn't know there was Sea Org is the Scientologist organization, correct?
Yeah. He was like a Navy guy. He invented the term there's no such thing as a free lunch. And he made Stranger in a Strange Land and Starship Troopers. And for the record, Stranger in a Strange Land is who's that serial killer from LA in the late 1960s?
60s.
You know, he wanted to do Helter Skelter.
Oh, Manson.
Yeah, that was Manson's favorite book for a reason. Because he brainwashed people with acid and liked having a lot of groupies.
That's why it's not a good.
Yeah, basically. Oh, a thing I remember, it was like a while back. There was a new book on Robert Heinlein, and the lead story in it was that he had a three-way with L. Ron Hubbard and his wife. Not a person you want to have a freeway with, just generally, just even aesthetically. No offense, no body shaming, but he's just a grotesque presence.
Could you imagine like trying to like, you know, immerse yourself in a sexual experience and then hearing that fucking like mid-Atlantic radio guy voice?
Dude, the funniest part about Going Clear is like looking, because I saw that movie and I was like, I'd never seen him talk. I've never seen footage of him talk. And he talks like Mr. Ed when they give the horse peanut butter. Like his teeth don't seem to work at the same like pace. It's just like but Heinlein was a freaky weird guy, and then like so was Herbert. Herbert's like one of those guys who believes like fucked up reactionary shit. And Paul Verhoeven, being a fucking king, read 15 minutes of or read the book Starship Troopers, which is literally just like, you know, Starship Troopers is a parody. Imagine if it wasn't. That's just the book.
Wait, the book of Starship Troopers is not a parody?
No. No, he means it. That's the funny thing. That's why the movie's so good. All that shit about citizenship, he just lifted from the book, placed it in Nazis' mouths. But those are verbatim shit that's said in earnest in the book. It's a fucked up book. It's not good.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Paul Verhoeven read that book because they were making a different thing. They were making like Attack on Bug World something. And then someone's like, hey, this is kind of like Starship Troopers. And then he read the book for 15 minutes, fucking hated it, and said, let's do this.
That actually kicks ass.
Let's do it and make fun of it.
Yeah, well...
Which is why it's that extra level that makes it so much better, is that the source material sucks ass.
I had no idea that that was like a fucking... The idea that all that citizenship stuff is like fucking
He believes it.
unironic is
No, he wants-
terrifying.
It's, well, but that's the kind of guy that Heinlein was. Like, he believed in free love for cis guys, and he's like, I believe you should be poly, but only in ways that benefit you, and by extension, Charles Manson.
Yeah.
And I also think that, like, you should have to serve in the military to be a citizen. And Paul Verhoeven's like, that would be a funny thing to make fun of with, like, $50 million or whatever, $100 million.
Yeah, and you know what? He was fucking right.
Yeah, and you know, it's like if Halo was like deadly serious, but no camp. Service does guarantee citizenship. It's true. The Rotten Tomatoes for if you ever want to have a good time, read the Rotten Tomatoes for Starship Troopers because it's all the reviews that came out at the time.
Oh yeah.
And none of them got it. Like just basic critics, just no reading comprehension. But no, what is it? Herbert's the same guy. He's like an Orson Scott card-shaped guy, where he made a thing that was really popular, and then he was like, "Fuck you! You that like bad meme where it's like you were not supposed to worship him with like the Joker and Tyler Durden." Yeah. Like he was doing that, but from a right-wing perspective.
I like your like. You have this very interesting linguistic technique where you to describe two people who are similar, you refer to them as being a shaped version of the other guy. I think that's really great. I think that's
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really like it.
I've also used the term racism adjacent. Where it's just like, oh, that feels like you're getting close.
Racism. What's an example of a piece of media that's racism adjacent?
Oh, I think we could find something that's like, oh, dude, you're getting real close there. It's harder to tell because if you undersell something, then you yourself have internalized racism. NFT apes, yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that sounds right. That sounds like a good example.
Like that feels fucked. That feels like you're doing something fucked up.
Yeah,
I'm Klingons, yeah, that feels, yeah. Or the Ferengi. Well, no, Ferengi, actually, that's underselling it. That's just racism. I don't know, like, Dune rocks. The book's fun. I just think that Lynch's version's better, and it's, if David Lynch's incomplete compromised vision is more original than your new one where you were given all the time in the world, then you fucked up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's mids. It's okay.
Speaking
of
Lynch, I actually am watching Twin Peaks for the first time.
Oh, that rocks.
Recently. Yeah, well, we're doing Deadly Premonition on stream with Will Menaker in a couple weeks.
Tight.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta know about fucking Twin Peaks. And so I've just been watching, like, 4 hours of Twin Peaks a day, every day.
I, played a little bit of I have Deadly Premonition 2.
Yeah.
And, I played a bit of it when it came out. And, like, everyone's like, oh, I was just playing. I was like, hey, this is okay. Maybe I should post something about it. Me kind of liking. Oh, wait, no, it's transphobic.
What is Deadly Premonition 2?
I think so, yeah. But then he was like, yeah, whatever, man. He's fucking. But he also he also said he was gonna remove it from the game because he had no idea it hurt people. So it's like, yeah, like,
that's actually kind of wholesome.
Yeah, it's kind of, or something along those lines. I forget exactly what happened, but like. There's a lot of like you know, there's a trans character and one of the settings is in Louisiana.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
you know, what do you think happens, dude? I guess that's the other thing is at this point I'm like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah,
I'm increasingly getting.
That probably was not a great time for them. You know, hard to believe.
But also just like it's like whenever people talk about ways that things age or like, you know, or just even like. Well, what do you expect is like it's not meant to be like you should forgive this person. It's just like, well, are you surprised?
Yeah.
Are you like I rewatched Dude, Where's My Car? And like, you know, there's a bunch of transphobia in that. It's like, well, yeah, of course there is.
It came out in the 90s, right? Or early
2000 on the dot. It's like, yeah, of course it fucking did.
That was super popular then. Like
that was a thing that happened at the time. I'm sorry. Oh, Pizza Suplex rated. Thank you. Sorry, you caught us in the middle of
Pizza Suplex. Hello, Pat. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Pat. No, it's just like one of those things where it's like, there's just, yeah, you go back and you look at stuff and you're like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to someone recently about Resident Evil and how they should remake Code Veronica, and it's like, they can't. Because, like, it's such a key there's no way they wouldn't get super duper yelled at for it. But like it's because it's so plot the like weird gender stuff in that is so plot essential, but also so tasteless. And of course, I love it, but I can imagine people like not the kind of thing you would attach to yours now. Once again, like brand that you brought back from the brink.
Yeah, that one's interesting. I guess like I feel like if they did a Final Fantasy like 7, because Final Fantasy 7 remake had that same thing where it's like, how are they going to deal with the Honeybee Inn? And the answer is they make it gayer.
Yeah, I guess they could just make cross-dressing Alfred like a real baddie, and they could probably get away with that.
I feel like if you did that, you would just do it the way that like, have you ever seen like when they do like Unutena stage play in that one theater in Japan?
No, go on though.
Oh, or like sometimes there's like a specific review in, I think someone I know who's a lesbian who traveled to Japan described it as the gayest town I've ever been in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, oh yeah, they have these stage plays where there's a lot of female drag.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like women
drag king type stuff. Yeah,
drag king shit. And it's kind of tight. It's kind of sick because it's very glam.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I mean? It's like it's sort of like drag king, but in that like Japan had like you as a person who likes Japanese shit and punk, you know, like Japanese punk from the 80s had this like real glam milieu that just didn't exist in America in the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And specifically for punk, and I feel like that sort of stuff, like a lot of eye makeup, and that's what that feels like. And I feel like you could probably do Ashford that way.
Oh yeah, I could see that. You could make that work. I think it could happen. I think it would be a challenge for them, but
Visual K, yeah, Visual K is a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but even like even like that was just like even like the guys in fucking Disclose, which is like a D-beat band from Japan, and all their songs are about the fucking atomic bomb and all that. It just sounds like a buzzsaw. But like even those guys had like eye makeup on and shit. Like it was just like what they did. It was cool.
Have you ever seen Burst City?
No, I haven't. What is that?
It's a 1982 movie by Sogo Ishii, who's one of my favorite directors in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He did a bunch of like punk movies from that era.
Okay.
And then he did one called Electric Dragon 80,000 Volts, where Tadanobu Asano made a noise band specifically for it. And it's all shot in black and white and is about like a guy who's powered by electricity trying to defeat a guy that's half Buddha.
It sounds like it fucking rips.
Burst City is a 82 movie where they built a shanty town to... Yeah, the movie's fucking wild. They built a shanty town for all their fucking crust punk friends to live in, and then shot a movie out of it, like around it.
Oh, that kicks ass.
And so it's these two bands. There's three bands actually: the Roosters, the Rockers, and the Stalins.
Yeah.
And or the Stalin, and they have a scene in which someone's doing like that Teen Generate era, like everything's in the red, unlistenable, peaking like punk.
Oh yeah.
There's a scene where one band is doing one of those, and then another band raids their show and starts like taking over and doing a performance in the middle where they're punching each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, this movie kicks ass. It's so haunting.
Sounds like it fucking kicks ass.
Yeah. Here's the thing about him though, is that that's like what he's known for. I think his name is Gakuraishi or something like that. He changed his name. No, it's Gakuryu. Sorry, Gakuryu Ishii. He did this movie called August in Water.
Okay.
That is, I think, my favorite movie I've seen in like the last 2 years. Because the premise is, it's very unlike his punk shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the premise is like, it's like, what if the Echo the Dolphin soundtrack was a movie?
Oh my
it's
god,
like,
you were playing all the hits for me tonight. That
dude,
sounds fucking sick.
you gotta track this shit down. It's a fucking fantastic movie. Because the premise is, it's about a girl. First off, it's a vibes-based movie.
Okay.
I mean that in like it feels like what a bored person on Tumblr would think a movie is. Like, it's about a girl who has a specific zodiac's event coming up in her life that is bad fortune. and they
Okay.
show like a fucking like Tandy with their star sign, and it's like, fuck, that's so cool. Or like an MSX or something like that.
Oh, I love that.
And she's a diver, and something bad with the Zodiac happens where she dives into the water and it turns into stone.
Okay.
Or her spiritually, and she goes into a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And when she comes out, she's like kind of zenned out, like she's like one with the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens in the backdrop of an incredible heat wave in a pandemic where people are turning into stone.
Cool.
And so it's all ambient music with shots of like the hot weather and like occasional like her talking to dolphins and stuff like that. And then it's just so tight. It's so cool.
Someone says the movie's on YouTube. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it is.
Yeah, Card in the
It
Betrayer.
is.
Just drop that in the TV and movies channel of the Discord. Because I'm gonna check that out later.
Oh, it's so
This
good.
sounds sick.
It's so sick.
I love it.
It's like-
I'm a fan of a Japanese vibe-based movie.
well, it's
know?
also weird because you're like, this is I think my favorite movie that he's ever done.
Yeah.
He also did I think he did Halberbench. Yeah, he did. He directed the direct to VHS Einstürzung die Neubauten concert movie for the album Halbermensch,
Really?
which is Half Man, and it's just Blixa Bargeld and all those motherfuckers like in a warehouse doing the album while Buto dancers fucking like just freak out near them, and it's so sick. It's like it's two things I love is just Buto dance and like noise rock.
That sounds fucking awesome. I also love noise rock, so I'll have to check that out.
I love Blixa Bargeld.
I've never heard that.
Blixa Bargeld is the lead singer of the band Einstürzung die Neubauten. Yeah, industrial experimental. I think is a better description.
Gotcha.
And he's a beautiful man, a gorgeous looking man.
Yeah.
Who, just a really hot guy. And he there's one video online of him cooking ink risotto.
Okay.
And saying the most existential German shit I've ever heard somebody say. It's like just him stirring risotto in like a coat or something like that, talking about the darkness of the soul. It's so.
Oh, I love that. That's
I'll drop
like
those in.
industrial guys. That's about
He also
right.
He also did like a series of commercials for I guess is like a DIY store chain in Germany,
Yeah.
which sort of like halfway between a Home Depot and like a Blick art supply.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, he was in the Bad Seeds until like 2002. Yeah. He still looks kind of good.
He was in the Bad Seeds? Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
He was really good in the Bad Seeds too.
that's crazy. I'm a huge Birthday Party fan, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time. Perhaps almost embarrassingly so. But they're so good.
They are good. Have you ever seen the original Bedazzled?
No, I haven't.
Okay, here's the funny thing, and I'm dropped both the risotto clip and the full movie for Einstürzung die Neubauten, Halbermensch in general. The original Bedazzled, I mean, both versions of Bedazzled kind of rule.
Yeah.
The 60s one was directed by the guy who did Singing in the Rain.
Okay.
And it stars Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Cook wrote it, and it's about an incel that meets the devil and gets 7 wishes, and he realizes how to become a Chad.
Gotcha.
It's a classic Virgin to Chad narrative, but also about the devil being your friend.
That sounds great. Wow.
And there's a song in it. There's one wish where he's like, I want to be popular, because like that's the thing is he makes a wish, it backfires, and then he gets out of it by blowing a raspberry and saying Julie Andrews. And
Okay.
it's very, very, yeah. And one of the ones where he's like, I want to be popular, I want to be hot, I want to be famous, I want to be a musician, I want to be a rocker. And so he does, it cuts to like what is like that, you know, that classic, like it's a parody of the Beatles, that one, the first time they were on TV. And so it's him in black and white, you know, singing this song called Love Me.
Yeah.
He's like, love me, love me. And it's like, and all the girls are going crazy. And then they said, okay, and now on to our next act, Drimblewidge and the Vegetations. And Peter Cook comes out dressed like a fucking king and sings the song Bedazzled, the title song.
Yeah.
And invents post-rock. It's fucked up in 1967.
What?
To the point where it was covered by Nick Cave.
What? Holy shit.
With the gender swatched. Yeah, Bedazzled by Drimblewidge and the Vegetations. And yeah, it's just him being like, it's them going, ooh, I'm bedazzled. And then he goes, I don't care. Just acting like he's like too good for them. It's a fucking great song.
Hell yeah.
And the remake's good too. It's got Brendan Fraser in it.
Oh, I like Brendan Fraser.
We all do. And we're
Yeah,
all happy he's doing well.
I was about to say, it's so nice to see him doing well recently on the internet. I like that I log in and see pictures of Brendan Fraser doing well. About time.
We see him as like a chubby dad now, and everybody's like, go, you get to do whatever you want.
Damn right.
Everybody's like, we're just you see, it seems like you've been through a lot, homie. We're here for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. It certainly seems like he's been through far too much, and I'm glad to see him thriving now.
We want him to be good. We all want him to be good.
We do. It's so true. I saw the picture. I saw exactly the picture you're probably thinking of when you said that, which is the picture of him. He's chubby. He's got like bags in each hand. He's smiling. I was like,
yeah.
Ah!
It's the exact opposite of the Danzig holding kitty litter photo.
Yeah. Yeah, or it's like the good version to the evil, I'm blanking on his name, the singer from Metallica holding the Prada bags.
Yeah. I got a question. Have you ever heard you've seen the text that's like somebody describing Danzig as a neighbor?
Yes, and he's got like a pile of bricks in his lawn and shit.
I have it up here if you want. If I can.
Please read it to us.
Okay, so a friend of for context, I was at a festival, like a techno festival at one point in the past few years, and one of my friends was very, very high, and it was in the middle of like a wooded grove, so it was just like this beautiful ambient set, haunting, with all these like lights and shit there. It was gorgeous, and I knew my friend was high, and I just told him to read the Danzig bricks thing in the middle of it, and he fucking hated me because he couldn't stop from like, he had to like leave the grove because he was laughing so hard.
It's so fucking funny.
It's such a okay. I won't spoil anything, but the last two words it's got like an Achewood or like Space Ghost kind of delivery on them. Okay, Justin. Dude, Danzig lives next door to me in LA down the street, and he is the worst neighbor ever. Dude, I have Danzig stories. Me. No shit. Justin, like, one awesome one. Yes, dude, I can't believe you said Danzig. Me. You realize this is our #1 topic at work. Justin, dude. So, okay, here's a on Danzig story. Me. Whatever you say, we always say, what do you think Danzig is doing right now? Justin. Danzig lives in this shithole house near me in Los Feliz, about 100 yards down the street. His house is super run down, except he has a fucking amazing Jaguar in the backyard. Anyway, me, it's a palace of evil. Justin, so he just has this huge pile of bricks in his front yard, and the house looks like an evil Pixar house. So anyway, his neighbor was like, dude, Danzig, please, you're bringing property value down with the bricks in your yard. And Danzig was pissed. So anyway, back and forth with this neighbor and Danzig. And finally, one day, I see Danzig outside in his front yard, and he's hurling bricks into this dumpster, and he's screaming, here I am, motherfucker, just cleaning up my motherfucking bricks, bitch. Just super loud, to no one in particular, for 2 hours. It was amazing. Like, I couldn't even think about other things, because it was so amazing. Me, oh my god, this is amazing. Justin, dude, it blew my mind. Because it was Danzig as just a really poor homeowner.
Oh God, I love it.
It's just a really poor
my bricks,
homeowner.
motherfucker.
Bitch. Just a really poor homeowner.
Yes. I just love the idea that like Glenn Danzig is that terrible neighbor. Of course he fucking is.
Yeah, of course he is. He's probably not a probably a miserable person to be with.
I feel like there's no way Danzig's not a miserable person, right?
Yeah, like we all confirmed that about Henry Rollins already.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's like...
but I feel like Henry Rollins is like a miserable person, but I feel like he's done an okay job like trying to like spin it into gold at least enough that like he can tell an amusing story.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think Danzig has that ability. I don't think he has the charisma. Like,
I think he did a little bit, because there was that, like, Kevin Smith adjacent time when, like, spoken word... This is, like, I think you couldn't do this with podcasts now existing. But, like, yeah, you know, it's like, oh, I'm not... Here's my stand-up special that's, like, me talking.
yes.
I feel like Joe Rogan
Jello Biafra did tons of those.
Yeah. It's just people realizing that they don't have to tell a joke.
Yeah.
And, like, and I think that, like, yeah. I feel like that's downwind a little bit of Bill Hicks, but like, Bill Hicks actually told jokes.
Yeah, totally.
I had a really dark thought, which was what would everyone assumes Bill Hicks is right wing or is just running InfoWars now.
Yeah.
And I think the more fucked up thought is, what if he became a lib? Just like vote blue no matter who.
And a blue. What if he's a K-Hive guy?
Yeah. Oh, Bill Hicks K-Hive.
God. Oh,
That is a really
Curse.
fucked up.
Yeah, deadly. A
He's like
hazard.
He's like watching all the Jen Pataki or whatever her name is, like press conferences and being like, "Slay, Queen."
Oh no. No. I don't want that universe to exist. I actually...
It didn't. He was. We don't.
Is Bill Hicks still alive?
He died like in 1996.
Oh, okay. God. No, K-Hive is not a K-pop thing, Admiral Half-Nose.
You know, actually, it sort of is. in
Go
the
on.
relationship between the performer and the fan base, it is the same.
Oh, yes. Well, I feel like the difference is that, like, the K-pop guys at least give you music.
Sure.
I don't think... Well,
I
House
don't
gives
know.
anyone anything.
I think that recent interview was close to music, spiritually. One could argue.
Is that the
And
Google It one?
No, the one where she was like, every day we are doing it and we are doing it right. Like, she sounded like predictive text. She was so barred out, dude. Like, and it was a more fucked up thing than Hillary Clinton ever said. Like, it was like more like, homie, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying than anything I've ever heard.
Oh, God.
That's the thing, is that she has a cult, but she's also like a mess.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, how she has a cult, because I mean, at least personally, I don't find her particularly charismatic.
She's not. She's
Like-
really... no, everybody... It's the JoJo thing again, where it's like everyone except this weird cult thinks she's weird. Like, even in the White House, they just send her off to, like, lose shit. It's so funny. Do not come. Do not come.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that...
She's a queer icon.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
I'm saying it now.
Saying it now, putting my piece down.
The Adam Freeland tweet that's like, a woman does a sociopathic shit, her gaze. Honestly
Yes.
work.
Honestly work.
No! No!
Ah, we see the scythe has its downfall. Do not come. Do not come. I'm gonna come. That one edit with they get Trump.
Yes!
So funny.
God. Fucking cartoon world we live in now. It's absolute cartoon world. You know when I knew that we were living in a cartoon world, not a real world anymore? When Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia and touched the orb.
Orb is so cool.
The orb was when I knew.
That's where all the K-High fans all live in the orb. or 17. Like, did you see that thing, like Sean Moorhead, like, was mildly critical of a K-Hive, or a K-pop star as a bit?
Mm-hmm.
And then was proceeded to be stalked by the K-pop community.
Dude,
like,
the K-pop community is fucking insane. Like,
yes.
I will never post anything about a K-pop artist ever.
They started like getting like anonymous Google Docs together to like report them to like because I guess the libel laws in I think part of it is that the libel laws in Korea seem pretty like strenuous,
like British, yeah,
like more British than British.
Whoa!
So to the point where like I think one of the a K-pop agency is suing like a 13-year-old YouTuber.
Damn. Yeah.
You can't defeat Sean. It's impossible. No, I would don't do it. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful person.
I wouldn't face off against Sean Moorhead if my life depended on it.
He's a wonderful person. No, but that's what makes him a great poster, is that he,
oh yeah.
That's the fucking thing that people don't realize, is that if you're really nice, when you drag somebody, it means something.
It makes it more, yeah, it's much more devastating.
If you are a charitable, kind person, open to, like, forgiveness or, like, understanding when, like, it's just a misunderstanding, then, like, when you go for someone, it means something.
Yeah, people will listen. Because it's like, we've all followed the person who's constantly doing that. And it's like,
yep.
You don't take them seriously.
For several years, you know?
Yeah.
Just people who are always on one, and it's like, I think you need an intervention in your life.
Yeah. Are you sure this isn't more about you? Whereas, like,
I think
the Sean
some other
thing
things are, yeah.
The Sean thing is like, oh yeah, it's gotta be, they've gotta have really fucked up to made you like this.
Like that one guy from Virginia.
What's that one guy from Virginia?
Carter for VA.
Oh!
That guy sucks. That guy fucking blows.
Gosh. I remember when he was posting about how all the OnlyFans girls he was gonna follow now that he was not running anymore.
Awful
like,
person.
Man.
Awful person turns out actually a piece of shit and is threatening to sue people every time they bring it up.
Oh yeah, isn't he like?
Yep.
There are allegations that he domestically abused a woman.
Yep. Sorry to get in the zone, but like he's not a good guy.
No, he seems like not a good guy. Which, you know, it's one of those like, I'm not gonna say like I thought he did that, but I certainly was like,
I just don't like him.
Bad vibes about this guy. I don't care for him.
Just don't like him, and it's like then you hear that and you're like, well, that I don't like that. I know that now too.
I don't like that, but I do like that my radar seems to work.
That always feels weird when you when somebody gets it turns out to be a bad person. People who sort of be like, I always knew, and it's like, okay, there's a level of being able to say that before it sounds like you're really back patting yourself. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Oh, this is why I never liked that person's movies. It's like, all right, come on, calm down. That's different. That's fucking.
Yeah, totally.
I always had a bad vibe about. It's like you can just say you didn't like this. That's the other thing is that in a Schulmanian sense, just say when someone annoys you. You don't have to say that You don't have to elevate it beyond that.
Someone can suck for reasons that have nothing to do with oppression. And that's the thing I feel like the internet has really forgotten in a lot of places.
You need to just be able to express when somebody's annoying.
Yeah.
And you don't like that. That's different. That's different. Somebody could just be annoying.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I feel like most of the times, it's just that somebody's annoying. The vast majority of the people in your life you don't like are not going to be that because they're evil.
It's when you add the "and here was why it matters" thing that shit gets tricky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's because then it just becomes well, this is just a social media thing, and this is just also your placement versus this thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of posturing.
Exactly. When I get that it's good for social media engagement. to be that kind of weirdo who's I always knew. Here's a thread I'm gonna make about every like. Okay, man.
Calm down.
Yeah, fucking go lie down.
Fun posts only, homie. That's where we're at.
That's
like,
where I'm. That is where I'm trying to be. I was just like, I muted all of the words that pissed me off on Twitter when I came back to do the stream, and I was like, I'm not gonna talk about things that make me miserable.
Yes,
anymore.
correct. Yes.
And you know what? It's gone great. I've gotten like really upset on the internet like one time in the last year, which is pretty good considering the last year we just had.
Yeah.
Like. But like, yeah, I don't want to like, I can't do miserable on the internet anymore.
It's also I think it's pointing at the whole are they just annoying thing is important, I think, because like I think if you don't watch yourself, you can become a reactionary if you follow that line of thought too much, where it's like, here's why the snowflakes, yada yada. Shut up. That's also irritating. That's boring too. That's fucking boring too. Just say when you don't like a thing, and just say that you don't like it. You don't have to be like,
yeah.
Here's what it means about capitalism.
Yeah, my big one recently is I say things aren't for me, and that way I don't even have to take a stance and say it's bad. I just am like, all right, not for me.
If you don't like a thing, and you can turn it into an amusing post, sure. Then that's good, because you're providing me with something that's funny on its own right.
Yeah. If you can produce something of value from it that way, I believe that is justified.
Yes.
Okay. Hell yeah. Well, we're hitting about our time. I won't keep you too late.
Oh, that's fair. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, anytime. It's fucking... I got the streamer lights out and shit again because I was like, oh yeah, I have these.
Hell yeah. Let's fucking go.
And I'm always ready to jump on a stream now. So I'm glad you asked because it was fun.
Yeah, this has been great. I had a lot of fun. And I semi-regularly will get groups together for Phasmo too, which you said you liked. So if I'm doing one of those coming up, I'll reach out.
Absolutely. I love that game. And also I have a VR headset, but that's like another thing.
Ooh, you're a VR headset guy now.
The Index has a really good mic in it, which nobody talks about.
Really?
It's like,
does it?
It's fucked up. Yeah, the Index is great, and it has like an array microphone around the head, so that it's picking up and then like averaging the input for that, and so you could just like talk normally, and it sounds like you have like you're talking into your like mic.
That's
it's
crazy.
Bizarre. The design they did for that, and like the it has these like pads that hover an inch away from your ear.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're good.
God. I've been thinking about getting a headset, but I'm always afraid it's going to be like weird or scare me or make me sick to my stomach.
I think the only people who should have these things are like content creators. Really, actually do.
That's totally fair.
That's who VR is for. Is for people. VR is for someone who's very entertaining and funny to fall down, and then like other people to watch it. I think it's for. It's okay. We'll end on this. It's for perverts.
Okay.
It's for furries and and people that love dressing up as anime girls who are trans who play Beat Saber, and it's for people who watch porno in 3D, and then like that's all I think it should be for. And then for people who play YouTube, it's like it's a weird thing to do, and it shouldn't be for normal people. It should be for YouTubers and perverts. And if you like playing Half-Life Alyx, I'll give you that too, because that game's great.
Yeah. I agree. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming on. Everyone, check out Highlight Reel on YouTube. Highlight Reel. I'm gonna post, if you have more clips coming up, I'll get them onto my feed now soon, so people who have caught you from this, who follow me, can see some of your content. But I have the one of the mountain lion on my Patreon.
It's a fish, like a guy fishing, and then like there's a puma in front of him or something, and then like the puma gets on its back legs and just starts doing jumping jacks like a normal person. Good.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
Bye, guys.